Chapter 3801, Past Events. The world shifted, and Lin Moyu suddenly found himself in a new realm, a world constructed from the residual soul's memories. Mist boiled around him, and World Tree stood towering in the void, its tendrils stretching across the entirety of the Great Spirit Domain. Above World Tree, a figure cloaked in radiant light hovered in the void. Though not physically large, this figure exuded an aura that made him seem even grander than World Tree itself. World Tree Emperor. Upon seeing this figure, Lin Moyu immediately recognized his identity. However, this World Tree Emperor seemed different from the one Lin Moyu had encountered previously. World Tree Emperor's voice boomed powerfully. "Human sovereign, is what you say true?" The void trembled as his voice echoed into the distance. There, another figure stood in the void, human sovereign, radiating an equally overwhelming aura that distorted space itself. Human sovereign was no weaker than World Tree Emperor. They appeared to be equals in strength. Human sovereign spoke slowly. "I have no reason to deceive you. Enter Beast Abyss, reach its deepest depths, and break through reincarnation. You will have a chance to attain enlightenment." World Tree Emperor remained silent, seemingly contemplating the truth of Human Sovereign's words. Human Sovereign continued. "I've already ventured there once. I'm only one step away. That's why I've come to seek your help. If we join forces combining reality and illusion, we can break through the final barrier and truly attain enlightenment." Enlightenment. The word carried an irresistible allure. Although Lin Moyu couldn't discern World Tree Emperor's expression, he could sense his hesitation and interest. The scene shifted abruptly. Beast Abyss appeared before him. World Tree Emperor and Human Sovereign stood above Beast Abyss together. Human Sovereign spoke softly. "I'll go first. I'll wait for you inside Beast Abyss." With that, Human Sovereign dove into Beast Abyss. After a brief moment of hesitation, World Tree Emperor followed suit, entering Beast Abyss as well. Notably, World Tree itself didn't accompany him. As an innate primordial treasure, it couldn't enter Beast Abyss. Shortly after World Tree Emperor entered, Human Sovereign's figure suddenly reappeared above Beast Abyss. Lin Moyu frowned deeply. Human Sovereign clearly went inside. How is he appearing here again? Unable to pinpoint the issue, Lin Moyu observed that this version of Human Sovereign was identical to the one who had entered Beast Abyss earlier. This new Human Sovereign threw out an array disk which activated and enveloped Beast Abyss in a massive net. Moments later, a third Human Sovereign appeared, again identical to the others. This version of Human Sovereign reached out and shattered space, grabbing hold of World Tree itself. A surge of immense power erupted as Human Sovereign began refining World Tree. This scene left Lin Moyu utterly shocked. Suddenly it dawned on him how Human Sovereign was accomplishing this. Using the Three Lives secret method alongside the heaven-covering stone, Human Sovereign had created an avatar to deceive World Tree Emperor. Then with another avatar he began refining World Tree itself. Refining World Tree, a primordial treasure, was no simple task. Moreover, with World Tree Emperor still alive, the difficulty was astronomical. If anyone attempted to refine World Tree Emperor would undoubtedly sense it and emerge from Beast Abyss to intervene. No avatar, even one created by heaven-covering stone, could stop World Tree Emperor upon his return. As expected, it wasn't long before furious roars erupted from Beast Abyss and World Tree Emperor emerged once more. Human Sovereign's true body sneered coldly. "You cannot return the real world as your destination." The array surrounding Beast Abyss forcibly blocked World Tree Emperor's path, and Lin Moyu noted that this array was extraordinarily powerful, even capable of restraining someone like World Tree Emperor. Did Human Sovereign enter that gate and obtain its secrets? Lin Moyu speculated silently. World Tree Emperor repeatedly attacked the array but failed to break through immediately. Meanwhile, Human Sovereign performed countless hand seals, activating secret techniques within Beast Abyss itself. Suddenly a massive beast emerged from within Beast Abyss. World Tree Emperor roared furiously. "Great Tao Beast Emperor! Human Sovereign, you're collaborating with Great Tao Beast Emperor." Human Sovereign chuckled lightly. "Just a minor partnership, I wish you well." World Tree Emperor engaged Great Tao Beast Emperor in battle, and both were forced deeper into Beast Abyss, disappearing from view. Meanwhile, the avatar continued refining World Tree and eventually succeeded. A new World Tree Emperor emerged. The memory ended abruptly as the scene shattered into fragments. Lin Moyu's expression turned complex. So Human Sovereign and World Tree Emperor are actually the same person. No wonder their relationship seems so close, they're literally the same individual. This memory revealed events long forgotten. Even within World Tree Great Spirit Domain itself, the truth about their emperor's replacement remained unknown. Today the entire domain operated under Human Sovereign's control, which explained why no one opposed his actions. From establishing trading markets to promoting soul pearls, all served his ultimate purpose. Lin Moyu realized that this purpose revolved around enlightenment, the same goal that had deceived World Tree Emperor initially. But what kind of enlightenment were they pursuing? Compared to human sovereign schemes, Lin Moyu's struggle against Origin Continent's world will felt like child's play. Still, Lin Moyu knew he was growing stronger, and one day he would understand what path human sovereign sought. If their paths conflicted, they might even face each other in battle someday. Chuckling self-deprecatingly, Lin Moyu dismissed these thoughts as premature. He hadn't even overcome Origin Continent yet. Thinking too far ahead was pointless. Turning his attention back to lingering flowers, he saw 3 elemental liches curled up inside them, their injuries mostly healed, but they remained unconscious. Once these flowers were spent, Lin Moyu prepared 3 more to continue their recovery. Releasing Little Python once more, they resumed their journey toward Golden Furnace Great Spirit Domain. Curious as always, Little Python asked cautiously, "Master, what happened earlier?" Lin Moyu shook his head. "It's better if you don't know. It won't benefit you and might even bring disaster upon you." "Of course, if you really want to hear it, I can tell you." Terrified by this prospect, Little Python quickly replied, "Please don't tell me." Its fear of death outweighed its curiosity. It clearly didn't want to know. Days later, a figure arrived at the battlefield where Lin Moyu had fought the residual soul. It was one of Wood Slaughter Realm Master's allies, the first among 9 Realm Masters in their group. Surveying the area, the Realm Master muttered, "A fierce battle occurred here. The combatants were exceptionally strong." Producing a mirror, the Realm Master illuminated his surroundings with it as scenes from earlier events replayed within its reflection. Lin Moyu's figure appeared briefly, but much of the battle remained obscured due to tribulation interference. When Heaven's wrath descended, the mirror emitted a crisp sound and cracks spread across its surface. The Realm Master frowned deeply. Heaven's wrath? How could tribulation lightning appear here? Heaven's wrath erased time traces. I can't uncover what happened. This individual is clearly extraordinary. I must capture him for questioning. Sweeping his gaze across Soul Void, the Realm Master followed Lin Moyu's lingering aura and pursued swiftly. Chapter 3802, Seeing Through the Cosmos, Clarity of Thought. After 5 days and several rounds of lingering flowers, Lin Moyu's 3 elemental liches finally awakened. During this time, Lin Moyu noticed their extraordinary nature. Although summoned through his spells, these elemental liches had survived the Great Tao tribulation upon their creation, earning recognition from heaven and earth, allowing them to exist in the mortal realm. Having replicated the true bodies of Great Taos, they possessed intelligence and straddled the line between living beings and spiritual entities. Their second encounter with heavenly punishment left them severely injured, barely surviving, but they endured nonetheless. Despite the harsh punishment, they gained some benefits. The restrictions imposed by heaven and earth seemed to ease slightly, allowing them greater freedom in their actions. While they still couldn't act recklessly without risking further punishment, light movements were now permissible without consequence. Once recovered, the 3 liches resumed their playful antics, laughing and frolicking in Soul Void as if nothing had happened. Meanwhile, Little Python approached Golden Furnace Great Spirit Domain as Lin Moyu reflected on his journey's gains and losses. This expedition had revealed the true nature of heaven and earth to Lin Moyu, providing him with a deeper understanding of the world's underlying logic. Many mysteries that had once baffled him were now resolved. What had previously been an abstract concept of the cosmos had transformed into a clear model within his mind. Lin Moyu realized that this world was far more complex than he'd imagined, but beneath its complexity lay simplicity. Soul Void carries souls. It represents the illusory aspect of heaven and earth. Yet it contains reality within illusion, allowing cultivators to operate, compete, and seek breakthroughs. The real world carries physical bodies. It also holds illusion within reality, where souls can manifest as well. In the real world, cultivators achieve unity between soul and flesh, unleashing their full power, which isn't possible in Soul Void. Soul Void is ruled by emperors, the true monarchs of great spirit domains. In contrast, the real world lacks similar rulers. It's dominated by endless struggles between cultivators from different worlds. Great Tao battles occur in both realms but are far more brutal in the real world. Beast Abyss serves as a passage between Soul Void and the real world, allowing beings to reincarnate endlessly as long as their true spirits remain intact. For both world wills and cultivators, the ultimate goal is eternity. Yet human sovereign, despite already achieving eternity, seeks even greater heights. His ambition is boundless. Thinking briefly about human sovereign, Lin Moyu dismissed him from his thoughts. It wasn't yet time to consider such matters. Having unraveled the structure of heaven and earth, Lin Moyu finally understood the true events behind Origin Continent's great calamity. Years ago the Black Blood Realm and Heavenly God Realm joined forces with other worlds to invade Origin Continent through World Mist. During this invasion the two realms drew close to Origin Continent both in the real world and Soul Void due to their corresponding positions. When their invasion failed they fled not only from the real world but also from Soul Void. Although Origin Continent's world will emerged victorious, it suffered severe injuries and fell into slumber. This delayed its progress toward eternity, granting billions of beings on Origin Continent a fleeting chance at survival. Now after countless years of recovery the world will was awakening once more. Once fully restored it would resume its pursuit of eternity and sacrifice all life within Origin Continent to achieve its goal. Lin Moyu's true spirit remained trapped within Origin Continent under the control of its world will. If he couldn't reclaim his true spirit before it took its final step he too would be sacrificed. Without reclaiming his true spirit he couldn't hope to defeat the world will either. Having lost his innate advantage the only remaining edge was that the world will remained unaware of his rebellion. Lin Moyu planned his next steps carefully. First, cultivate his 1,000 worlds further while advancing his own strength. Second, find a way to reclaim his true spirit. Once reunited with his true spirit the rest would become manageable. If he were ruthless enough he could abandon Origin Continent entirely, leaving its fate to unfold without interference. But Lin Moyu knew he couldn't do that, not while uncertain about whether his wife's true spirit still resided within Origin Continent. This alone made retreat impossible. Additionally he had friends and disciples on Origin Continent whom he refused to abandon. Thus a confrontation with Origin Continent's world will was inevitable. Resolving himself fully, Lin Moyu decided he must defeat the world will while protecting those he cared about. His recent trip to World Tree Great Spirit Domain offered new insights. He could emulate human sovereigns' methods by transforming Origin Continent's world will into a tool for himself. This approach would achieve 3 goals simultaneously. 1. Gain a powerful ally. 2. Preserve life within Origin Continent. 3. Avoid compromising his own path. With clarity restored, Lin Moyu felt his mind sharpened and knew exactly how to proceed moving forward. The fog clouding his vision dispersed entirely and he exhaled deeply, a breath infused with soul energy that rippled across Soul Void for thousands of miles. His eyes gleamed with confidence, for others understanding these truths might constitute enlightenment and perhaps even elevate their cultivation. Unfortunately for me it's merely accumulation. I won't advance until my 1,000 worlds grows further. This path is long and arduous, but it belongs solely to me and I'll walk it no matter how difficult. Suddenly, Space Tao Spirit interrupted playtime. Master. Someone is catching up from behind. As a master of Space Great Tao it sensed disturbances in space long before anyone else and detected an approaching presence far away. Turning around, Lin Moyu peered through dazzling Great Tao energy and faintly glimpsed a soul flame in the distance. A Realm Master, he muttered grimly. Judging by its intensity it rivaled Wood Slaughter Realm Master in strength, a formidable foe indeed. Clearly the visitor wasn't friendly. Lin Moyu quickly deduced their purpose. It was likely related to his 3rd refined virtual soul pills, which seemed even more valuable than he'd initially thought based on Wood Slaughter Realm Master's reaction. Realm Masters wouldn't use such pills for cultivation, they must have other plans for them. Now this Realm Master sought him out and Lin Moyu suspected it was for those pills. Shake him off, Lin Moyu ordered calmly. Space Tao Spirit cheered. Got it. With a wave of its small hand it teleported Lin Moyu's group billions of kilometers away instantly with no trace left behind. Arriving at Lin Moyu's previous location the Realm Master paused in confusion. Gone. Suddenly a spatial rift opened and countless blades erupted from within, catching him off guard. Struck by space blades the Realm Master found himself momentarily disoriented. Chapter 3803, Is that something I can hear? Faced with uncertainty about the intentions of the Realm Master pursuing him, Lin Moyu avoided direct confrontation. The opponent was a top-tier Realm Master, and dealing with him would undoubtedly require the involvement of the elemental liches, likely more than one. Having just narrowly survived the Great Tao Tribulation, Lin Moyu wasn't eager to risk a second round. Luck had spared them last time, but if the elemental liches perished this time, there would be no way to replace them. The difficulty of obtaining innate primordial treasure materials was something only those who searched for them could truly understand. Thus, Lin Moyu commanded Space Tao Spirit to teleport them away immediately. Teleportation left no traceable aura, making it nearly impossible for the Realm Master to track them. As an added precaution, Space Tao Spirit left behind a spatial rift to hinder the pursuer slightly. After 5 consecutive teleportations, they had traveled 5 billion kilometers, changing direction each time. If this didn't shake off their pursuer, combat would be unavoidable. Lin Moyu murmured softly, "It seems Wood Slaughter Realm Master's domain isn't as safe as I thought. I'll need to be more cautious next time." Little Python asked curiously, "Why is that Realm Master chasing you, Master?" Lin Moyu replied, "It's likely because of the virtual soul pills. They must have some special effect that caught their attention." Though he hadn't fully confirmed this, Lin Moyu had a strong hunch sometimes a mere clue was enough. After several days of flying through the vacuum zone, Lin Moyu finally spotted a familiar Great Spirit Domain in the distance. As he approached Golden Furnace Great Spirit Domain, the connection between his soul and physical body grew stronger. Nearly a century had passed since his last visit. He had finally returned. Outside the domain, Beast Abyss remained as it always had. Lin Moyu paused to observe it for a day before bypassing it and entering Golden Furnace Great Spirit Domain. Comparing Beast Abyss here with that in World Tree Great Spirit Domain revealed distinct differences. The primary reason for these differences was Human Sovereign. Over the years, Human Sovereign had undertaken numerous actions, many targeting Beast Abyss directly. Though Lin Moyu didn't yet know exactly what Human Sovereign was doing, he understood that it was all part of his quest for enlightenment. To achieve his goal, Human Sovereign had deceived World Tree Emperor, trapping him in Beast Abyss and replaced him with an avatar to become the new World Tree Emperor. This allowed Human Sovereign to control not only World Tree Great Spirit Domain but also its cultivators, countless living beings, virtual beasts, all under his command. Additionally, Human Sovereign refined soul pearls, not only accelerating cultivators' progress but also using them as tools for control. However, this wasn't Lin Moyu's concern at present. He quickly headed toward Dragon Lake's small spirit domain to find Discernment Beast. Little Python flew swiftly through several small spirit domains and within days they reached Dragon Lake's small spirit domain. Dragon Lake King sensed their arrival immediately and flew over, exclaiming in surprise, "It's you again." Lin Moyu chuckled, "It seems Dragon Lake King doesn't welcome me." Dragon Lake King snorted and turned away without another word, clearly unwilling to engage with Lin Moyu. Unable to defeat him or stop him, there was no point in interacting further. Familiar with the domain's layout, Lin Moyu found Discernment Beast's residence easily. Discernment Beast lay at its doorstep as if dozing lightly. Leaving Little Python behind in Dragon Lake's small spirit domain, Lin Moyu approached alone and called out loudly, "Senior Discernment Beast, Lin Moyu has come to visit." From afar, Lin Moyu noticed something unusual. The aura of treasure materials within Discernment Beast's residence was gone. Previously the small house contained numerous treasures, but now they were nowhere to be seen. Discernment Beast opened its sleepy eyes and said casually, "You're back. Come closer." Receiving permission, Lin Moyu flew over. "Senior monitors all under heaven, it's impossible you didn't know I was coming." Discernment Beast replied, "I do monitor all, but I don't focus on individuals. Besides, you haven't entered any worlds, it's harder for me to hear about you." Its implication was clear. It primarily listened to events within worlds. Matters outside were more challenging to discern. Lin Moyu asked, "What has Senior heard recently?" Discernment Beast replied dismissively, "Just random nonsense, nothing useful." Suddenly it sniffed at Lin Moyu curiously, "You've been to World Tree Great Spirit Domain, but let me smell more closely." Its long neck stretched out and its massive head leaned toward Lin Moyu, sniffing him thoroughly. "Ah, you've also been to Radiant Light Great Spirit Domain and Redstone Great Spirit Domain. You've traveled quite extensively. Why did you visit those places?" Before Lin Moyu could answer, Discernment Beast suddenly recoiled in shock, retreating to the edge of its island while trembling visibly. "What's wrong?" Lin Moyu asked in confusion. Discernment Beast stammered nervously, You boarded that ship." Understanding immediately what it meant but seeking confirmation, Lin Moyu asked calmly, "Are you referring to crossing Calamity Boat?" Discernment Beast nodded vigorously, "Yes, that's what it's called now." Lin Moyu asked curiously, "Was it called something else before?" Discernment Beast replied hesitantly, "It had another name, but that doesn't concern you." "What happened after you boarded crossing Calamity Boat?" Lin Moyu noted Discernment Beast's eagerness. It reminded him of Redstone Emperor's reaction, but with added caution and fear. "Let's make a deal," Lin Moyu suggested. "What kind of deal?" Discernment Beast asked warily. "I'll tell you everything about my experience aboard crossing Calamity Boat, and in return you'll answer my questions honestly, or at least offer me a discount if there's a fee involved." This arrangement seemed one-sided in Discernment Beast's favor, but it understood this as an expression of trust from Lin Moyu. Without hesitation it agreed. All right, start talking and be detailed. Lin Moyu recounted his journey aboard crossing Calamity boat meticulously. As he described encountering the statue and hearing its voice, discernment beast grew visibly tense. When Lin Moyu mentioned being tasked with an undisclosed mission, it muttered softly, "He's still there. Can't Senior hear what happens aboard crossing Calamity boat?" Lin Moyu asked curiously. Discernment beast replied self-deprecatingly, "Is that something I can hear?" "Who is aboard crossing Calamity boat?" Lin Moyu pressed further. Discernment beast answered cryptically, "That is an unspeakable existence you shouldn't ask. I won't tell and no one else will either. Perhaps when you complete your task in return you'll learn for yourself." Understanding its reluctance, Lin Moyu shifted topics. "Let's discuss something else. I discovered during my visit to World Tree Great Spirit Domain that human sovereign deceived World Tree Emperor into entering Beast Abyss and then replaced him." Chapter 3804, The Final Step. As Lin Moyu conversed with Discernment Beast, he observed its shifting expressions. Compared to its earlier tension upon hearing about crossing Calamity boat, Discernment Beast had now regained its usual composure. Discernment Beast remarked, "I know about this. It was indeed human sovereign's doing. But you can only blame World Tree for being too foolish. To be honest, none of the 3 previous World Tree Emperors were particularly clever. This one was no exception." Lin Moyu asked, "So there have been 3 World Tree Emperors before? And now, the one played by human sovereign is the 4th. Discernment Beast corrected him, "You're mistaken. Human sovereign isn't playing the role of World Tree Emperor. He is World Tree Emperor now. It's like when you refined an innate primordial treasure and became a small spirit domain king. Although you're not a virtual beast, there's no rule stating that a small spirit domain king must be one. Whether it's a small spirit domain king or a great spirit domain emperor, it's always determined by the ownership of innate primordial treasures," Discernment Beast explained. "As long as you can refine the innate primordial treasure of a great spirit domain, you can become its emperor." This revelation completely overturned Lin Moyu's understanding. The emperors of great spirit domains weren't individuals who refined innate primordial treasures after becoming emperors. They became emperors because they refined those treasures. Discernment Beast chuckled, "Surprising, isn't it? That's just how the rules work. For example, Radiant Light Great Spirit Domain doesn't currently have an emperor. If you could refine its innate primordial treasure, you'd become its new emperor. Among the 9 great spirit domains in Soul Void, everyone assumes there are 9 emperors, but in truth, there are only 7. Lin Moyu blurted out, "Which other domains lack emperors?" Discernment Beast replied, "Twilight Drum Great Spirit Domain, but it's extremely dangerous." Lin Moyu asked, "If Radiant Light Great Spirit Domain lacks an emperor, why hasn't Human Sovereign taken it over?" Discernment Beast laughed, "Who says he hasn't tried? He went there long ago but failed. Not just Radiant Light, he also visited Twilight Drum and nearly didn't make it back. If those attempts had succeeded, he wouldn't have needed to target World Tree Emperor. After all, dealing with an emperor is risky business. Though Human Sovereign was powerful, emperors weren't weak either. Even a residual soul from an emperor rivaled top-tier realm masters, forcing Lin Moyu to deploy his elemental liches and endure heavenly punishment to defeat it. If faced with an emperor's true body, their strength would be unimaginable." Discernment Beast suddenly shifted topics, "But if you were to visit Twilight Drum Great Spirit Domain, you might fare better. You'd likely survive." Lin Moyu chuckled, "Please don't flatter me, Senior. Do you know what enlightenment Human Sovereign seeks?" Discernment Beast's gaze turned wistful yet tinged with despair as it sighed softly, "That's the final step. Only after achieving eternity can one see it." Lin Moyu asked eagerly, "Can everyone who achieves eternity see it?" Discernment Beast nodded, "Yes, once you attain eternity you'll see that final step and understand that it represents enlightenment. But that step is impossibly difficult. It fills one with despair. It's nearly insurmountable." Lin Moyu pressed further, "Even you couldn't cross it?" Discernment Beast shook its head solemnly, "No, I realized upon seeing that step that I'd never succeed. Many emperors have tried. They've devised countless methods, but none have succeeded. In endless ages numerous emperors have perished in pursuit of that step, including the emperors of Radiant Light and Twilight Drum. Now the remaining emperors have given up entirely. Only a few cultivators from the real world persist, and Human Sovereign is their leader. Each individual sees their own version of the final step and walks their own path toward it," Discernment Beast explained. "Who will succeed? No one knows." Lin Moyu thought of returning Origin Land's 20+ great Tao Lords, all eternal beings like Human Sovereign. Each had seen their own final step. Some had abandoned their pursuit, others continued striving. Human sovereign was merely one among many, not unique. Lin Moyu realized that someday he too would see his own final step. When that time came, would he muster the courage to cross it or stop like discernment beast? The answer would only reveal itself once Lin Moyu achieved eternity. Despite knowing how daunting this step was, Lin Moyu couldn't resist asking, has anyone ever succeeded? Discernment beast smiled mysteriously, perhaps, but I don't know for sure. However, there's someone who has taken half a step forward, a partial success. You've heard his voice before. Startled, Lin Moyu immediately understood who Discernment Beast referred to. It was the entity aboard crossing Calamity boat, the one whose voice he'd heard but whose face he hadn't seen. This individual had taken half a step toward enlightenment, a partial victory. Discernment Beast chuckled, now you understand how terrifying that person is. Though he succeeded halfway, he paid an immense price and is now trapped aboard crossing Calamity boat. He can only escape if he takes the other half step. Lin Moyu fell silent, astonished by the connections between human sovereign, emperors, and crossing Calamity boat. These supreme beings shared one ultimate goal, their final step toward enlightenment. Seeing Lin Moyu deep in thought, Discernment Beast teased lightly, are you shocked? It's nothing unusual. Cultivation is all about pursuing strength, and anything done in pursuit of strength becomes justified. In some worlds, mortals wage wars where countless lives are lost for one general's success. Apply this logic to cultivators, and sacrificing entire realms for enlightenment seems perfectly normal. Kindness and sympathy are useless, they hold no place in this world, Discernment Beast continued bluntly. Only when you stand at the peak can you afford to look back and pity others. Though harsh, these words reflected undeniable truths. Mortals sacrificed thousands in battles for power, but cultivators sacrificed millions or even billions for their great Taos. Origin Continent exemplified this principle. Its world will had twice buried realms and planned to sacrifice all life for eternity. To many cultivators, the lives of others were insignificant compared to achieving their own paths. Lin Moyu sighed softly, you're right, that's how things are. But everyone chooses their own path. I follow mine with my own convictions and strive to remain true to myself. Eternity is still far away for me, and the final step even further. For now I must face Origin Continent's peak stage world will and take my first step forward. I saw in World Tree Great Spirit Domain that human sovereign created a method to turn world wills into tools or puppets, but this technique isn't widely known. Do you know about it? If so, I'd like to purchase it from you. Chapter 3805, The Soul-Seizing Technique. Lin Moyu's primary purpose in seeking out Discernment Beast this time was to purchase the method for turning world wills into tools. He had previously asked Wood Slaughter Realm Master about human sovereign's method and searched for it in the trading market. However, Wood Slaughter Realm Master had explicitly stated that the method couldn't be disclosed. When human sovereign taught this technique to the realm masters under his rule, they swore an oath anyone who revealed it would face severe punishment. Under human sovereign's dominion, none dared defy him. Lin Moyu knew asking human sovereign directly was out of the question. It would be courting disaster. Even if human sovereign agreed to share the method, he would undoubtedly impose numerous restrictions, and the information might not be entirely accurate. Worse yet, it could be a trap. Someone like human sovereign could set pitfalls that Lin Moyu wouldn't even notice. Thus, Lin Moyu decisively turned to Discernment Beast, whom he trusted far more than human sovereign. Discernment Beast looked at Lin Moyu and asked, you plan to use this method against your world will? Lin Moyu nodded, I've considered it, this method should work. Discernment Beast replied, it's indeed feasible and it will significantly increase your chances of success. Lin Moyu suddenly interjected, then why didn't you tell me last time? He watched Discernment Beast closely for its explanation. Discernment Beast chuckled, you didn't ask, and besides, you learned about it in World Tree Great Spirit Domain anyway. This method is highly valuable, it doesn't come cheap. Lin Moyu understood the implication. Discernment Beast only revealed such information when asked directly so it could set a high price. If it volunteered the information, the price would likely be much lower. Resigned, Lin Moyu said, all right, name your price. After some back and forth conversation, they finally got to the main topic. Discernment Beast grinned, during your journey through World Tree Great Spirit Domain and the vacuum zones between domains, you must have encountered great Tao beasts. Lin Moyu admitted openly, I did. Discernment Beast said, I want one essence orb from a great Tao beast. Lin Moyu frowned slightly, you don't have a world to cultivate, what do you need essence orbs for? Discernment Beast shook its head. Essence orbs aren't just for cultivating worlds, I have other uses for them. What those are doesn't concern you, just tell me whether you agree to this price. Lin Moyu currently had 25 essence orbs, giving one to Discernment Beast wasn't an issue. However, since Discernment Beast set this price, it was clear that essence orbs were highly valuable. Given their worth, Lin Moyu decided not to agree outright but negotiate further. Unlike the three ancestors, Discernment Beast wasn't fond of playing games, it preferred straightforward dealings. Fine, Lin Moyu said. I'll give you an essence orb, but I want to negotiate for more information as well. Discernment Beast's eyes lit up. Go ahead, what do you want to know? Lin Moyu posed 3 questions. Why does Human Sovereign possess the 3 lives secret method? Does Human Sovereign's heaven covering stone mean he has been beyond the gate? Where do Great Tao Beasts originate? Lin Moyu didn't expect Discernment Beast to answer all 3 questions. While these topics might not be difficult for Discernment Beast to address and might hold little value for others, they were crucial for Lin Moyu. However, asking such questions would undoubtedly raise the price. Sure enough, after hearing Lin Moyu's queries, Discernment Beast chuckled and said, "Your questions are too many for just 1 essence orb, this won't suffice." Lin Moyu countered. Then I'll offer 2 essence orbs, but I want to add 1 more question. He continued. The Lord of Hell mentioned something escaping from beyond the gate. What is behind the gate, and what escaped? 1 secret technique plus 4 questions for 2 essence orbs seemed fair to Lin Moyu. Discernment Beast nodded slowly. That's reasonable, we have a deal. It conjured a transparent jade token infused with illusory power and handed it to Lin Moyu. Knowledge is priceless, a truth Lin Moyu deeply understood. Human Sovereign forbade anyone from leaking his secret technique, but Discernment Beast casually sold it for profit. In this world, Discernment Beast was undoubtedly the ultimate intelligence broker. Its information came at a steep cost one few could afford. Activating the jade token with soul energy, a technique called soul-seizing technique flowed into Lin Moyu's consciousness and was quickly mastered. Examining the technique closely, Lin Moyu noticed significant differences from other methods he knew. It bore striking similarities to the 3 lives secret method. Soul-seizing technique, it feels connected to 3 lives secret method, they share a common origin, Lin Moyu remarked instinctively. Discernment Beast laughed. Your intuition is correct, the 2 techniques are indeed related, they both originate from beyond the gate. It then addressed Lin Moyu's first question. Why does Human Sovereign possess the 3 lives secret method? Because he created it himself, but its foundation lies beyond the gate. Human Sovereign is exceptionally intelligent, and so is 3 lives Buddha. They both encountered something beyond the gate and developed their own versions of 3 lives secret method. However, Human Sovereign proved even smarter, not only creating 3 lives secret method but also developing soul-seizing technique. Stunned by this revelation, Lin Moyu asked incredulously, 3 lives secret method was inspired by something beyond the gate? This answer shattered his previous understanding. He had always believed 3 lives Buddha invented his technique independently, a feat he greatly admired. But Discernment Beast's explanation painted a different picture entirely. Creating such techniques isn't easy, Discernment Beast continued. Even after encountering something extraordinary, not everyone can develop corresponding methods. For instance, that individual also ventured beyond the gate and saw what they saw but failed to create any techniques. This alone proves 3 lives Buddha's genius but also highlights Human Sovereign's brilliance. Moving on, it addressed Lin Moyu's second question. Regarding your second query, I won't allow you to change it, the deal is final. Lin Moyu sighed in frustration but asked hopefully, could you share some minor details instead? Discernment Beast seemed amused by Lin Moyu's disappointment and replied cheerfully. You asked, you can't take it back. Human Sovereign obtained his heaven covering stone from beyond the gate. The stone conceals heavenly secrets, it can deceive heaven and earth as well as Great Tao itself. Avatars created using heaven covering stone are undetectable. Even if killed, the heavens will temporarily believe their true body has died. Of course, the stone has other uses, you'll have to explore those yourself. Finally, it answered Lin Moyu's third question. Great Tao beasts originate from origin ancestral land in a place called Wilderness. Chapter 3806, Great Tao Impurities and the Fiend Beyond the Gate. Wilderness. When Lin Moyu heard this name, he realized his earlier speculations were mostly correct. Discernment Beast continued explaining the origins of Great Tao beasts. Great Tao beasts aren't ordinary spiritual beasts, virtual beasts, or even living beings. They are the result of the interaction between the yin and yang aspects of Great Taos, the unresolved elements that form impurities. You can think of them as impurities of the Great Tao, seemingly useless yet inherently necessary. As long as Great Taos exist, Great Tao beasts will never go extinct. In Origin Ancestral Land, there is a region called Wilderness. It's where great Tao beasts gather. Origin Ancestral Land connects both reality and soul void. Occasionally, fissures appear, allowing great Tao beasts to leave. Some enter soul void, residing in vacuum zones, while others enter the real world. Later, a great Tao beast emperor entered the real world. It gathered most of the great Tao beasts there, occupied a world, and transformed it into another wilderness. Because they are formed from impurities of the great Tao beasts carry misfortune, causing all sorts of strange phenomena wherever they go. Lin Moyu thought back to young ancestral dragon. To escape pursuit by the Lord of Hell, it had fled to wilderness. There, it became tainted by misfortune, a result of exposure to great Tao impurities. This misfortune was so potent it couldn't be cleansed, even forcing the Lord of Hell to abandon its plans due to fear. Lin Moyu asked, "The great Tao beasts I encountered in vacuum zones didn't seem to carry misfortune." Discernment Beast explained, "The impurities are concentrated in their physical bodies, which don't manifest in soul void. While they carry these impurities, their souls contain the essence of the great Tao. That's why hunting them in soul void yields essence orbs. The duality of yin and yang within great Taos created this paradox. Their physical forms bore impurities and misfortune, but their souls condensed pure essence." This dichotomy highlighted just how wondrous this world was. Having delved deeply into concepts of yin-yang and reality illusion, Lin Moyu understood immediately. "You mentioned a beast emperor earlier. How strong is it?" Discernment Beast replied, "You already know the answer in your heart. Eternal." Lin Moyu had indeed deduced this, having witnessed the power of a beast king. He could infer the level of a beast emperor. Lin Moyu sighed, "In any case, it's not something I can provoke right now." Discernment Beast reassured him, "Not now, but that doesn't mean never. Have confidence. Besides, you don't need to worry, beast emperors rarely appear, they have their own pursuits." Lin Moyu's eyes gleamed with curiosity. "Are you saying they're also pursuing the final step?" Discernment Beast nodded. "Great Taos are impartial. If cultivators can pursue the final step, why not beast emperors?" This left Lin Moyu speechless. Indeed, if he could pursue it, and emperors could pursue it, why not beast emperors? Once one reached eternity, they would see their own final step and have the opportunity to chase it. Lin Moyu asked another question. "One more thing." Discernment Beast interrupted with a chuckle. "Shouldn't you pay first? I've already answered so much." Without hesitation, Lin Moyu handed over 2 essence orbs, the smallest among his collection of 25. Discernment Beast accepted them without complaint and continued smiling. "That gate is one of the most mysterious things in existence. No one knows how long it has existed, and no one has ever fully refined or subdued it. For countless ages it has passed through the hands of many top-tier powerhouses, but none have truly claimed ownership over it." Lin Moyu found this explanation puzzling but refrained from asking further, trusting that Discernment Beast would elaborate. "The gate disappears periodically, only to reappear elsewhere after some time. When it opens it may bring danger, but not always. It depends on luck. 3 lives Buddha and the Lord of Hell were fortunate, they encountered no danger." Lin Moyu's thoughts stirred. Did human sovereign encounter danger? Discernment Beast continued. "Over countless years many have opened that gate, including human sovereign, the Master of Destruction, Time Master, and several emperors. Even some great Tao lords have obtained and opened it. Human sovereign faced danger beyond the gate. A great battle ensued and he was injured as a result. Though powerful, he survived but barely and left in a sorry state. As for what lies beyond, I don't know. That's not something I can hear about, and I've never been inside. I've asked several emperors, they each experienced something different beyond the gate and their gains varied as well. But one thing was consistent: the presence of Myriad Wonders Monument. In every case the Myriad Wonders Monument was there, and both 3 lives secret method and soul-seizing technique are connected to it. As for what escaped from beyond, let's just say it's terrifying. Even heaven doesn't know what it is. A terrifying entity. Lin Moyu couldn't fathom what had escaped, but if even Discernment Beast didn't know, it must be extraordinary. Still, speculating further was pointless for now. There would be ways to deal with it eventually. His world-burning fire was highly effective against souls. Even if it couldn't kill such an entity, it should suffice for self-defense. Discernment Beast warned him sternly. "Don't get complacent. Even human sovereign faced danger beyond that gate. If you confront that entity, you'll be walking into death." Shocked, Lin Moyu exclaimed, "It's that dangerous?" Discernment Beast replied calmly, "Now you understand. The Lord of Hell may be timid, but caution has its merits. When he sensed something amiss, he threw that gate far away without hesitation, not out of greed. Because he acted prudently, the entity didn't come after him. But your boldness often leads to an early death. Lin Moyu asked. The Lord of Hell has since renamed himself Boundary Master and his resolve is broken, he'll never return to his peak. He mentioned that entity seems to be searching for something. Discernment Beast dismissed concerns about the Lord of Hell as irrelevant, a mere ordinary Tao Lord in its eyes. It is indeed searching for something, but what exactly I don't know, Discernment Beast admitted. But it's dangerous, it has already destroyed several worlds. About 50,000 years ago it sought out Time Master asking him to open the river of time to help locate whatever it seeks. They fought, a battle ensued and Time Master suffered minor injuries before escaping. The entity vanished afterward. Chapter 3807, 1 orb equals 10,000 years. Discernment Beast's words left Lin Moyu deep in thought. The terrifying entity it mentioned was intelligent, able to injure the Time Master. Intelligence could be both a blessing and a curse. It might make the entity more predictable, but it could also make it far more dangerous. The question lingered. What exactly was it searching for? It had sought out the Time Master, hoping to use the River of Time to aid its search, but it had chosen the wrong person. Lin Moyu remarked, I imagine the Time Master must have been thrilled to see it, perhaps even eager to refine it. Discernment Beast grinned, its tone shifting humorously. Oh, absolutely. The Time Master was overjoyed only to end up in trouble himself. Lin Moyu glanced at Discernment Beast curiously. Where did you pick up that accent? Discernment Beast quickly corrected itself. I've been listening to many worlds lately, one of them had people with an amusing way of speaking. I must have picked it up unconsciously. Lin Moyu chuckled dryly. I might need to seek out that gate myself. Could you offer any advice on what I should watch out for? Discernment Beast replied, the gate's current location is unknown. If you find it, just remember one thing, don't be greedy. Lin Moyu committed this warning to memory and prepared to leave. Thank you, Senior. Oh, here are 2 materials for you. He handed over 2 innate primordial treasure materials obtained from virtual illusory realms, one containing true fire Great Tao and the other space Great Tao. The latter was even a sentient material. Discernment Beast's eyes gleamed as it accepted the treasures, its tone growing excited. Sentient material. This is excellent. I promise that when the time comes for you to act, I'll arrange for someone to hold off your world will in Soul Void. Lin Moyu bowed slightly. Thank you, Senior. Discernment Beast waved dismissively. No need for thanks, we agreed on mutual benefit. However, the dangers beyond the gate are yours alone to face, I can't help you there. It handed Lin Moyu a strand of its whisker and added, here's one of my whiskers, you can summon me if needed. Lin Moyu's plans included helping the 3 ancestors and others claim a world. Discernment Beast possessed secret techniques that could facilitate this process. After acquiring Human Sovereign's soul-seizing technique, Lin Moyu adjusted his plans slightly, but the overall strategy remained unchanged, albeit stronger than before. Executing this plan would take considerable time and require numerous adjustments along the way. After bidding farewell to Discernment Beast, Lin Moyu visited the world occupied by Soul Heart King. A century had passed since his last visit, and the world had undergone some changes. For a world whose evolution typically spanned millions of years, a century was an insignificant amount of time. Currently the world will of Soul Heart King's domain was in its embryonic stage. However, as a small spirit domain king, it would likely reach its formative stage within a millennium or 2. At that point it would awaken and Lin Moyu could communicate with it directly. Providing it with essence orbs from Great Tao beasts could accelerate its growth significantly. The value of these essence orbs was immense, and Lin Moyu realized his remaining 23 might not suffice. He considered hunting for more when time allowed. After 10 days of flying through Soul Void, Lin Moyu finally returned to Origin Continent. Despite being separated from his physical body for a century, the connection between his soul and body had only grown stronger. Upon reuniting with his physical form, the first thing Lin Moyu did was recall all his undead armies and begin replenishing their ranks. Meanwhile he entered his 1,000 worlds and stood before its core. The core emanated an intense sense of closeness akin to familial affection. This world had been saved by Lin Moyu and nurtured by him ever since. Its origin core was imbued with his essence. To this world Lin Moyu was like a father, and he regarded it as his child. Compared to Human Sovereign's soul-seizing technique, Lin Moyu felt his relationship with this world was far more harmonious. Taking out an essence orb from Great Tao beasts, he asked softly, "Do you want this?" The world core radiated joy and a faint will responded weakly, "Yes." Currently the world will was still in its embryonic stage, far from reaching its formative phase. "Let's see how effective this is," Lin Moyu murmured as he sent the essence orb into the core. Immediately the entire thousand worlds trembled as it began strengthening rapidly. The rate of growth far exceeded normal speeds, accelerating many times over. As the master of this world, Lin Moyu could clearly sense every change occurring within it. The primary world at the topmost layer grew stronger, increasing its capacity for life and benefiting all inhabitants within. This transformation spread downward to countless middle-tier worlds and eventually reached innumerable lower-tier worlds as well. The enhancement process wasn't instantaneous. The essence orb burned slowly, but as long as it lasted, the world continued growing at this accelerated pace. Observing closely, Lin Moyu calculated how long it would take to refine one orb fully. Refining one essence orb takes about 100 years. In those 100 years, the accelerated growth is equivalent to 10,000 years of natural evolution. No wonder cultivators send people hunting for these essence orbs. Moreover, as the world grew stronger, the refinement process might speed up without diminishing its effects. Eventually, it might take just 10 years to achieve what would otherwise require 10,000 years. With 23 essence orbs in hand, Lin Moyu estimated that his 1,000 worlds could undergo over 2 million years worth of evolution within just 2 millennia. Still, even 2 millennia felt slow given the looming threat posed by Origin Continent's world will. Before Origin Continent's great calamity, its world will had already reached peak formative stage, just one step away from eternity. If fully healed, it might ascend to eternity in no time at all. Should that happen, all life within Origin Continent would be sacrificed. Pondering ways to accelerate his 1,000 worlds evolution, Lin Moyu found no immediate solutions. If he couldn't speed up his progress, the only option left was delaying Origin Continent's world will from achieving eternity. He had an idea, but whether it would work remained uncertain until tested. For now, the effectiveness of essence orbs was clear, and Lin Moyu turned his attention toward further enhancing his 1,000 worlds. Taking out all the great Tao materials he'd collected during his journey, he ignited Undying Flame and resumed summoning efforts. Chapter 3808. Elemental Liches Never Truly Leave. The materials Lin Moyu had gathered this time were not numerous, only a few dozen, but their quality was exceptionally high. Many of these materials contained great Tao attributes that his 1,000 worlds lacked. By summoning elemental liches from these materials and integrating them into his 1,000 worlds, he could introduce new great Taos, strengthening the entire world. A world grows larger and more complete as its great Taos become more refined. The previous batch of elemental liches had already merged into 1,000 worlds, transforming into various great Taos within it. Though they appeared to have vanished, Lin Moyu could still sense their presence, a peculiar feeling that they hadn't truly left but had merely taken on a different form. These great Taos felt like his children, radiating an intimate connection. The summoning began, but due to the high quality of the materials, the process was slow as they melted gradually. However, the slower the process, the better the results. Suddenly, Sword Tao Spirit, True Fire Tao Spirit, and Space Tao Spirit appeared beside Lin Moyu. This surprised him. He hadn't summoned them, so why had they come on their own? Among the three, Space Tao Spirit was the most intelligent but also the most childlike, while True Fire Tao Spirit seemed more mature. True Fire Tao Spirit spoke on behalf of the group. Master, our Taos can also merge with this world. Within 1,000 worlds, Space Great Tao and Sword Great Tao already existed, but True Fire Great Tao had yet to manifest. Lin Moyu hesitated. You three are currently my strongest assets. I still need your help for many things. I can't let you merge with the world just yet. True Fire Tao Spirit shook its small head vigorously. Even if we merge with this world, we won't disappear. Both Space Tao Spirit and Sword Tao Spirit nodded in agreement to confirm this claim. Lin Moyu's eyes lit up as his thoughts raced. He quickly realized why this might be true. He had previously assumed that these three Tao spirits were like other elemental liches, but they were fundamentally different. Ordinary elemental liches only embodied a small fragment of a great Tao's attributes, and multiple materials from the same great Tao could summon different liches. Thus, completing a single great Tao required numerous materials and liches to fill in its gaps. But the three Tao spirits were unique. They had replicated nearly complete versions of their respective great Taos, over 90% complete if not entirely so. If they merged into 1,000 worlds, their respective Taos could rapidly reach completion or even perfection. Lin Moyu's earlier sense that his previous elemental liches still existed wasn't an illusion. They truly remained as parts of 1,000 worlds' great Taos. These liches couldn't leave their respective Taos without causing them to collapse. Only when a Tao reached full maturity could these liches re-emerge as unified entities. If my theory is correct, Lin Moyu mused excitedly, then my 1,000 worlds will eventually contain countless great Taos and thus countless elemental liches. When the world is complete, imagine countless elemental liches attacking simultaneously. The mere thought thrilled him, but he knew he was still far from achieving such a level. After some contemplation, he decided to test it. Alright, Space Tao Spirit, you go first. Space Tao Spirit nodded eagerly and transformed into a streak of light, diving deep into 1,000 worlds. Boom! Space Great Tao emerged visibly within 1,000 worlds, but it was incomplete and relatively weak. 1,000 worlds was still young and its various Great Taos were far from fully developed. Space Great Tao in particular had evolved slowly due to limited materials. But now, with Space Tao Spirit merging into it, the Space Great Tao began growing at an astonishing rate, spreading throughout the void of 1,000 worlds. Spatial energy surged wildly, tearing countless rifts across the void of 1,000 worlds. Behind these rifts lay a strange and hazy realm, its mist-like aura seeping through the cracks. As Space Great Tao rapidly matured, it was guided by Space Tao Spirit's influence. Previously existing elemental liches associated with Space Great Tao laughed joyfully as they transformed into streams of light, merging into Space Tao Spirit's body. In this way, a single elemental lich could embody an entire Great Tao, absorbing weaker liches associated with it. Space Tao Spirit's aura began changing, as did its Space Great Tao, which now diverged slightly from its counterpart in origin ancestral land. This marked it as uniquely belonging to Lin Moyu and his 1,000 worlds, a distinct identity for its Taos. Meanwhile, Sword Tao Spirit retained its replicated version of Sword Great Tao's essence, allowing it to wield immense power across origin continent and regions influenced by origin ancestral land. With Space Great Tao completed, 1,000 worlds roared in celebration as if rejoicing over its newfound strength. Simultaneously, a powerful aura surged from Lin Moyu himself. The shackles that had bound him for years finally broke free. He began advancing toward becoming a first-tier innate soul cultivator. Your turn, he commanded mentally. True Fire Tao Spirit and Sword Tao Spirit obeyed immediately, merging into 1,000 worlds to evolve their respective Taos. Sword Great Tao reached completion with all associated liches merging into Sword Tao Spirit. Meanwhile, a flame appeared out of nowhere in the void, and True Fire Great Tao manifested fully from illusion to reality under True Fire Tao Spirit's guidance. 1,000 worlds grew stronger, breaking past its previous limits, and Lin Moyu's cultivation advanced alongside it. The high-quality materials he had brought back melted one by one, summoning new elemental liches that quickly integrated into 1,000 worlds. With essence orbs from great Tao beasts, the three major Tao spirits, and numerous elemental liches working together, 1,000 worlds reached new heights, and Lin Moyu successfully ascended to first-tier innate soul status. His breakthrough was seamless, a natural progression tied closely to his world's evolution. As his physical body radiated intense energy, it was shielded entirely by Antares, ensuring no one outside noticed anything unusual. Antares awakened abruptly and upon seeing Lin Moyu's progress sent him a telepathic message, "You're back." Lin Moyu replied calmly, "Yes, I just need to handle a few things first, we'll talk soon." "Alright," Antares agreed warmly, even showing faint joy in his gaze. Having worried about Lin Moyu during his century-long absence in Soul Void, a place fraught with danger, Antares felt relieved by his safe return. With all summoned elemental liches now integrated into 1,000 worlds and several new great Taos taking shape, the world grew increasingly complete. Lin Moyu felt elated watching this progress unfold before him. The hardest part was always getting started, but once a foundation was laid, the process accelerated exponentially with help from essence orbs. Leaving 1,000 worlds behind temporarily, Lin Moyu entered his soul realm and approached infinite fusion. From there, he retrieved a piece of sentient material containing Space Great Tao. Chapter 3809, The Chubby Baby Little Tree. The previously quiet infinite fusion suddenly became excited. It buzzed and vibrated non-stop, circling around Lin Moyu, acting ingratiatingly. I want to eat." Anxious messages kept coming through. It had been many years since Lin Moyu had fed it anything good, so he didn't tease it and directly gave it the treasure material. Lin Moyu knew very well that infinite fusion wasn't picky about the attribute of the material, it only cared whether it was a sentient material. As long as it was a sentient material, it would accept it without hesitation. This time, it was innate primordial treasure material, of extremely high grade, enough to keep infinite fusion busy digesting for a while. He wondered if, after fully absorbing and digesting it, infinite fusion would become even stronger. He always felt that infinite fusion's true abilities hadn't been fully revealed yet, and there was still a lot of potential to be tapped. Lin Moyu then checked his various spell stars. With his recent advancement, the spell stars had grown a bit stronger, but overall, there wasn't much change. This path seems to have reached its end. This feeling wasn't new, it had already arisen back at the Dao Venerable realm. At that time, there was still the Great Dao realm and then Dao Lord ahead, so he could keep moving forward. But now, he was already at the first tier innate soul of the Great Dao realm, and the next step would be Dao Lord. As a Dao Lord, one could compete in the Great Dao struggle, moving from a projected Dao Lord toward a true body Dao Lord, ultimately mastering an entire Great Dao, sending it into the returning origin land like human sovereign, becoming a Great Dao Lord, and achieving eternity. At the same time, upon becoming a true body Dao Lord, one could occupy a world and become its master. This was how cultivators in World Tree Great Spirit Domain did it, with countless precedents to follow. This was the correct path, but it didn't work in the origin continent. The world will of the origin continent would never allow anyone to become a true body Dao Lord. If there was any sign of this, it would be snuffed out, even at the cost of burying an entire era. So, in the origin continent, becoming a Dao Lord was already the limit. The Great Dao struggle could happen, but not to excess, it had to be kept in check. Lin Moyu now clearly understood that he was already approaching the limit of the origin continent. One more step and he would be a Dao Lord, but after that, there would be no more road to walk. Next, he would have to find a way to reclaim his true spirit and then continue on his own path. I have a feeling that when I become a Dao Lord, something special will happen. Lin Moyu vaguely sensed that, with his 6 great Daos advancing together, he could, if he wished, become the Dao Lord of all 6. He used to think this way, but after seeing human sovereign's great Daos, his thinking changed a bit. Human sovereign cultivated even more great Daos, with all 5 elements complete, but he didn't become the Dao Lord of all those Daos. What truly made him human sovereign was the destruction great Dao, he was the Lord of destruction. Lin Moyu realized he might also have to choose one path, but which one, he hadn't decided yet. Let's not worry about it for now. I'll think about it when the time comes. Of the 6 great Daos, aside from the Time Great Dao, there are 5 I can choose from. Besides, last time someone called me the Lord of Immortality, so at the very least, I can choose the Immortality Great Dao. Lin Moyu set aside these thoughts and went to the Bone Hell. After more than 100 years, Bone Hell had changed a lot. It used to be his ultimate weapon. Now, Bone Hell was connected to Thousand Worlds, serving as its other side. All beings who died in Thousand Worlds would travel along the World Tree into Bone Hell, have their memories cleansed, and then return to Thousand Worlds through the World Tree to reincarnate. Through countless cycles of reincarnation, the true spirits would ultimately remain in the World Tree, in other words, in Lin Moyu's hands. Through the true spirits, Lin Moyu held the power of life and death over all beings in Thousand Worlds. His arrival triggered towering waves of fire in Bone Hell, with pillars of flame shooting skyward. Countless hellish fiends howled and roared in excitement, as if welcoming their master's return. The dead undead, whether or not their memories had been cleansed, all raised their heads in confusion to look at Lin Moyu. In their eyes, Lin Moyu was like the great Dao itself, awe-inspiring and supreme. Lin Moyu looked back at them. There were people, beasts, insects, all kinds of beings from Thousand Worlds appeared here. In the distance, a thick branch connected Bone Hell and Thousand Worlds. Master, you're back. With a hoarse voice, Heyu the Netherworld Black Dragon flew over. He didn't come from the Nether Black Pool, but from the World Tree branch. Lin Moyu asked curiously, why were you over there? Heyu prostrated before Lin Moyu. There was some chaos in the cycle of reincarnation, so I went over to manage it. Lin Moyu looked down at the orderly lines below. Are all these under your management? Heyu shook his head. Some of them. The rest are managed by the World Tree. The World Tree? Since when did the World Tree become so clever? At that moment, a branch stretched over, and standing on it was a chubby little baby. Master, the little baby called out happily. Lin Moyu was stunned. You're the World Tree. He had checked everything upon returning, except for the World Tree. The World Tree was so familiar that he didn't expect any changes and thus overlooked it. The chubby baby said, yes, Master, I am the World Tree. You can call me Little Tree. The baby's answers were fluent, though its voice was childish and its appearance cute. Its intelligence was clearly high. How could such a big change happen in just over 100 years? Lin Moyu asked, how did you become sentient? Little Tree replied, maybe it's because of the true spirits. All the reincarnating beings' true spirits gather in me, and those true spirits carry some memories. Plus, I have to help Heiyu cleanse their memories. At first, I just did it instinctively, not knowing when, but one day I suddenly became sentient. Lin Moyu was puzzled. That doesn't make sense. If your sentience came from all those chaotic memories, you should be very confused. Little Tree said, yeah, I thought so too, but I don't feel confused at all. It's like I always had sentience, just sleeping until now. I feel like there's a whole section of memories still asleep, not yet awakened. But I can't retrieve those memories, and I don't know what to do. The chubby face scrunched up in distress. Lin Moyu understood. The world tree had always possessed sentience, but for some reason, it had been dormant, and its memories sealed. Now, due to external stimulation, its sentience had awakened, but its memories remained sealed. That explained why Little Tree was so intelligent, without any sign of being newly born. Lin Moyu patted its head and comforted it. Don't worry, maybe the time just hasn't come yet. When it does, you'll naturally recover your memories. Little Tree enjoyed the head pat, giggling, Master is right. The awakening of the World Tree's intelligence was unexpected. The World Tree had already developed instinct before, and Lin Moyu had guessed it would eventually become sentient, just not so soon. The key was that it wasn't just awakening, but reawakening. Its intelligence was not new, but restored, and upon awakening, it was already mature, with a vast amount of memory buried and sealed away. This also indicated that the World Tree had existed for a very long time, not something born because of Lin Moyu. This made Lin Moyu recall things from long ago, like the system that appeared when he first changed classes and awakened. The system had left from the soul void, and its whereabouts were unknown. He hadn't thought about it for a long time, but the World Tree's awakening brought those memories back. Before the World Tree took shape, his only talents were 3 flames burning in the soul void. At that time, he didn't even know about the soul void, he just called it the soul world. With his weak strength back then, he couldn't leave the soul world at all. In those days, the system guided him to find his talents, laying the foundation for the eventual birth of the World Tree. Looking back, from the moment he changed classes, his cultivation path seemed to be guided by the system, including the visions he saw when awakening skills, which showed him how to use them. He instinctively realized that this system, which had transmigrated like him and then left, must have had its own intelligence, and it surely knew many things, including the World Tree's past and present. If he could find the system, he would naturally get the answers. If not, perhaps when the World Tree's memory seal was lifted, he could learn something then. In an instant, Lin Moyu thought of many things. But these matters could not be resolved for now, they would have to wait for the right time. He patted Little Tree's head. You've done well. Are you managing everything? Do you need help? Little Tree shook his head. I can handle it, and I have helpers. He pointed into the distance, and Lin Moyu saw many figures busy at work. Little Tree said, I fused with some realm spirits and had them help me. Master, I did it without your permission, please don't be mad. Little Tree looked at Lin Moyu with wide, worried eyes, like a child who'd made a mistake. Lin Moyu laughed. You did well. Since you can handle it, I'll leave it to you. Little Tree nodded happily. Lin Moyu turned to Heiyu. I've been gone for years, but bone hell seems to have kept growing. Heiyu replied. Yes, ever since you connected bone hell to Thousand Worlds and completed the cycle, bone hell has been growing stronger. But I don't know why. Heiyu managed bone hell, but his understanding was still limited. Only Lin Moyu could truly investigate. Lin Moyu flew to the highest point of bone hell, beside the gate of hell. He placed his hand on the gate, feeling the pulse of all bone hell through it. Every change in bone hell was now under his control. He once didn't understand the gate of hell, but now he fully grasped it. The gate of hell was both real and not real. It truly existed, it was the foundation of bone hell. Back then, the Lord of Hell cultivated the Hell Great Tao, and behind the gate of hell was the Hell Great Tao itself. So, when the gate of hell was opened, it could draw on the power of the Hell Great Tao. His own gate of hell had, for a moment, opened a crack and drawn in a wisp of the Hell Great Tao's power. But he hadn't used it to comprehend the Hell Great Tao, he just used bone hell as a technique, so the gate of hell was dispensable to him. Back then, after obtaining that mysterious gate, the Lord of Hell hid it behind the gate of hell to conceal its existence. Everyone knew about the gate of hell, but not its true purpose. I once thought I might be the reincarnation of the Lord of Hell. But I'm not. He was timid and cherished his life strong, but weak, and never reached the peak. I won't follow his path. Bone Hell isn't a true hell, so this gate doesn't need to exist. With a thought, the gate of hell soared into the air, flying to the front of the reincarnation queue. The great gate swung open, and behind it was the world tree. Lin Moyu's voice echoed. Everyone will pass through this gate to reincarnate. His will reached every soul. Heiyu and Little Tree didn't quite understand why Lin Moyu was doing this. Lin Moyu explained. Bone Hell grows stronger because the dead bring with them some lingering power from their previous lives. This power isn't strong, but over time, it accumulates and becomes immense. One of the reasons Bone Hell grows stronger. Another reason is Little Tree. When his branches form the cycle of reincarnation, they draw some of Thousand Worlds' power into Bone Hell, further strengthening it. But this creates a problem. After reincarnation, some people's memories aren't fully cleansed, some fragments remain. I'll use this gate to completely erase their past life memories and check their fate. Those with strong fate will have achievements in their next life and can be sent to good places for cultivation. But some people aren't qualified to reincarnate. Lin Moyu referred to those who had committed grave sins and hadn't atoned for them. Such people couldn't be allowed to reincarnate freely. They would be selected and thrown into hell to be tormented by the hellish fiends. Heiyu agreed. That's how it should be. We may not care much about good and evil, but there must be basic rules. His meaning was, I may not be reasonable, but others must be. Lin Moyu looked at the hellish fiends. Also, I see some fiends have developed instincts. If any of them gain intelligence, you too can decide whether to let them reincarnate or keep them as helpers in hell. Little Tree nodded. I understand, Master. Don't worry. Lin Moyu narrowed his eyes. There was once a world with yin and yang realms, and the great Tao was also divided into yin and yang. Bone Hell is the yin realm of this world, and Thousand Worlds is the yang realm. Only together are they complete. His words became a decree, instantly spreading throughout the world, giving all cultivators a sudden realization of the existence of the yin realm. Bone Hell and Thousand Worlds roared together, becoming more closely connected through the world tree. They were two sides of the same coin. The entire world became more complete and much stronger. Lin Moyu felt that he was not far from becoming a Tao Lord. Chapter 3811, Antares in Disbelief. Antares waited patiently until a vortex appeared at Lin Moyu's brow, and a voice sounded, "Come in." Antares immediately split off a portion of his soul and entered Lin Moyu's soul world. It wasn't his first time entering Lin Moyu's soul world, but this time, Antares was truly startled. He stared in shock, momentarily at a loss for words. Lin Moyu chuckled lightly. Welcome to my world. Antares blinked. How did your rules world become like this? Lin Moyu shook his head. This is no longer a rules world. It's my own Thousand Worlds. Thousand Worlds. Antares repeated Lin Moyu's words, then said solemnly, you're still the same as before. By before, he meant the days in the small world, when Lin Moyu had always walked a path different from others. Now, it was still the same, his path was worlds apart from everyone else's. Lin Moyu said, if you want to survive in the origin continent, you have to walk a different road. Antares frowned. What do you mean? He didn't understand Lin Moyu's words. Lin Moyu continued, there are things you don't know yet. I'll tell you, but you need to be mentally prepared. Antares recalled what Lin Mohan had said before, there were many things he didn't know. But Antares really couldn't imagine what could be hidden from him. He'd lived so many years, and while he couldn't claim omniscience, he knew most things about the origin continent and the outer great Tao. Back in the small world, Lin Moyu had been as ignorant as a blank sheet, always asking Antares questions, hoping for answers. But now, it seemed the roles had reversed, he was the one in the dark. Antares said, what's there to prepare for? I've seen all kinds of storms, just say it. Lin Moyu said, this era is about to end. What do you mean? Antares still didn't get it. Lin Moyu continued, literally. To be specific, all of us billions of living beings, from Tao Lords down to ants, are going to die. The more Antares listened, the more incredulous he became. You mean the origin continent will? Lin Moyu shook his head. The origin continent won't perish, only the living beings on it. We'll be sacrificed by the world will to help it achieve eternity. Antares grew more and more confused, unable to understand sacrifice, eternity, what did it all mean? Can't you speak more clearly? Don't just say half a sentence at a time. Lin Moyu teased him, weren't you like this before? Just be patient and listen. In the beginning, this world wasn't called the origin continent. The rulers were the insect race. Later, the insect race tried to seize the whole world and become its master, but the world will completed its spirit birth just in time and wiped out the insect race. The second era belonged to the Buddhist race. Then the three lives Buddha tried to break free from the world will's control, but was also buried by the world will. Now we're in the third era, the origin continent era. The world will was about to take the final step to achieve eternity, at the cost of sacrificing all living beings. But the origin cataclysm broke out, and the world wills of the Black Blood realm and Heavenly God realm arrived, severely wounding the origin continent. Now it's revived, and soon it will try to take that step again. Antares' dragon eyes nearly popped out. He thought Lin Moyu was crazy, spouting nonsense. He didn't want to believe it, but couldn't find a way to refute it. Lin Moyu ignored him and continued, your dragon race and the insect race are mortal enemies because you both originated from the sun and moon sources, just not in the same era. Naturally, you're destined to be enemies. There's no solution. During the Buddhist era, the world will controlled the sun and moon sources and didn't allow new beings to be born. Otherwise, you'd have had another mortal enemy. Lin Moyu paused to let Antares digest this. At this moment, Antares' eyes were bloodshot. Even his soul was affected, let alone his physical body. Antares was different from the three ancestors. He was a sun ancestral dragon, born from the sun source, with the deepest connection to this world. So he found it hardest to accept. Even if it was true, he needed time. As time passed, Antares' gaze gradually calmed. Finally, he spoke, even if you're right, what do you plan to do? With no evidence, Antares still chose to believe Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu said, this trip was to find a solution. I met the former Lord of Hell. Antares' eyes widened again. The Lord of Hell is still alive? Lin Moyu nodded. He's alive, and stronger than before, but his Tao heart is broken. He doesn't have the courage to come back for revenge. He's no longer called the Lord of Hell, but the Boundary Master. I fought him this time and got a lot of information. And the three lives Buddha from the previous era is also alive. Unlike the Lord of Hell, I can sense he still holds a grudge. He won't rest until it's settled, so if he gets a chance, he'll act. Besides that, the three ancestors are also preparing according to my plan. Lin Moyu briefly explained his plan. The process wasn't complicated. Dealing with the world will didn't allow for many schemes, strength was what mattered most. If your fist isn't hard enough, no amount of scheming will help. After hearing it all, Antares asked quietly, so you're going to look for that gate, whatever it's called? Lin Moyu nodded. Yes, but I can't go yet. My destiny isn't finished. And I'm worried the world will has fully recovered. Once my destiny ends, it'll try to achieve eternity. By then, our true spirits will still be in its grasp, and we'll have no chance to resist. So I need to find a way to delay it, ideally, trigger another event like the origin cataclysm. Antares said, you can't just summon another origin cataclysm at will. Lin Moyu replied, I said something similar, not identical. The essence of the origin cataclysm was a battle between world wills. If I can find a powerful world will, or a top-tier realm master, I can delay its breakthrough to eternity. Antares hesitated. That's going to be hard. Lin Moyu said, it won't be easy, but I have to try. I still have many friends and family in the origin continent. I won't let them be sacrificed. Antares thought for a moment, then asked, what can I do? Lin Moyu said, if I can delay it, we can attack the dragon race. You'll become the dragon god. When the plan starts, use the dragon soul crystal to devour the dragon god tree. Chapter 3812. Destiny Halfway, Seeking Benefits for Myself. Lin Moyu didn't go into too much detail, because the entire plan was still just a framework at this stage. The three ancestors and the others had already left the origin continent, each searching for a suitable world. Once they found one, they would return. They had agreed on a timeline. They would return within 100 years before Lin Moyu's destiny ended. Lin Moyu said, during the remaining time, you still need to guard my physical body. I may need to leave again. Antares had already fully accepted this, replying nonchalantly, that's a small matter. I hope your plan succeeds, but if it doesn't, it's no big deal. At worst, we just die. Lin Moyu laughed. Why so philosophical all of a sudden? Antares replied, I've been this way for a long time. Back when I was betrayed by those people, my heart already died. As long as I get my revenge, nothing else matters. Lin Moyu said, don't worry. As long as my plan works, you'll definitely get your revenge, and we'll all survive. Antares snorted. You've always been cunning. I don't believe you'll die that easily. Lin Moyu grinned. Is that a compliment or an insult? Antares said, doesn't matter. When are you leaving? Lin Moyu replied, since I'm back, I'll show my face, let those outer great Tao folks relax, and reassure the world will. With destiny on me, there are some things I have to do for show. And I can use this authority to get some benefits for myself. Antares said, your sister came by a few years ago and gave me something. Take a look. He took out a dragon pearl and added, she said she'd be gone for a while, didn't say where, just that she'd return if you needed her. I didn't understand her words at the time, but now I do. She must know about the world will. Lin Moyu wasn't surprised at all that Lin Mohan knew about the world will and had come and gone as she pleased. He knew Lin Mohan must have someone backing her, otherwise, no matter how strong she was, she couldn't have reached her current level. Moreover, Lin Mohan had disappeared years ago, even before the Great Upheaval. Only someone like the green-robed old man could come and go from the origin continent at will before the upheaval. Lin Moyu now strongly suspected that the green-robed old man, and the white-robed senior who gave him ancestral water, had already taken the final step. He could still see some clues from an eternal being like human sovereign, but when it came to the green-robed old man, he couldn't see through him at all. But guessing that Lin Mohan might be backed by the green-robed old man actually made Lin Moyu feel more at ease. At least with that protection, Lin Mohan would be safe. His attention turned to the dragon pearl Antares handed over. It was indeed a dragon pearl, no doubt about it. Lin Moyu carefully sensed the dragon pearl. This dragon pearl isn't from the origin continent. Its level is extremely high. There's a powerful force inside, but it's so strong that you can't absorb it yet. If you force it, you might die. Antares said, exactly. That's why I haven't dared refine it. But your sister said it would be useful in the future. Lin Moyu said, how about you leave it with me? I'll ask someone about it, they should know what it is. Antares said, all right. Who are you going to ask? Lin Moyu replied, discernment beast. Do you know it? Antares shook his head. Never heard of it. Antares didn't know much about the soul void, he'd never even left his small spirit domain, so it was natural he didn't know about discernment beast. Leave it to me, Lin Moyu said, not explaining further. Sometimes, the less you know, the better. Leaving Thousand Worlds, Lin Moyu, who had been dormant for over 100 years, opened his eyes again, feeling the aura of the origin continent. This time, he had already become a first-tier innate soul great Tao cultivator, and as Thousand Worlds continued to grow stronger, he was getting closer and closer to becoming a Tao Lord. Lin Moyu slowly rose into the air, his sharp gaze sweeping across the world in all directions. His appearance once again drew the attention of the outer great Tao's many great Tao cultivators. For these cultivators, 100 years was just a blink of an eye. A century had passed, and the number of great Tao cultivators on the outer great Tao had only increased. Many who had been in seclusion had heard about the events on the origin continent and about Lin Moyu, and came out of curiosity to see for themselves. The newcomers had never seen Lin Moyu before, only heard of his deeds. Now, seeing him, they couldn't help but comment, so this is Lin Moyu, the one with destiny. He doesn't look that special. Indeed, nothing special, just lucky to bear destiny, but so what? The child of the world back then still died in the end. Having destiny only protects you for a while. Destiny and fortune won't last forever. When it ends in a few hundred years, with enemies all around, how will he survive? Well, maybe he can. See that dragon? He's the former dragon race crown prince, a first-tier innate soul great Tao cultivator, with strength not inferior to a Tao lord. With him as a protector, Lin Moyu might just survive. True, Lin Moyu also has several Tao lords behind him. I doubt he'll be in real danger. That dragon race crown prince was exiled for crimes and disappeared. Now he's back, and the dragon race has already said they'll settle accounts with him. Those Tao lords have also vanished, probably off to the great Tao struggle. Who knows if they'll come back alive? He's made so many enemies, surviving won't be easy. Lin Moyu's appearance made the previously quiet outer great Tao lively again. Many people discussed Lin Moyu, most were just onlookers, but some had killing intent in their eyes. Lin Moyu looked around and saw the floating Tao fortress strongholds in the outer great Tao. More than half of the Tao fortresses had been repaired and were operational. Lin Moyu knew what was inside them. Many Tao fortresses were actually puppet factories, producing puppet armies. While their combat power was average, their sheer numbers could overwhelm ordinary experts. Back in the day, these fortresses had played a big role in resisting the armies of various races. But in Lin Moyu's eyes, these things were worthless. His undead army could easily crush them, and even without the undead, unleashing the fiends from Bone Hell would be enough to teach them a lesson. Lin Moyu's gaze was full of disdain, making those hostile Great Tao cultivators feel uncomfortable. Ignoring their stares, Lin Moyu looked toward the origin continent. With his strength increased and the authority of heaven and earth in his hands, Lin Moyu murmured, "Destiny is halfway through, it's time to get some benefits for myself." With a thought, the origin continent rumbled, and cracks appeared in the earth. The underground origin spirit veins began to open. These origin spirit veins were all just remnants. Waves surged in the boundary sea, and the remnants of origin spirit veins buried for countless years at the bottom of the sea all surfaced. Chapter 3813, Arrangements. Across 3 eras, the origin continent has endured countless ages, with worlds splitting and merging, giving birth to innumerable origin spirit veins. Origin spirit veins are not eternal, they are either exhausted by cultivators or, after too much time, wither and die, becoming remnants. For the world itself, these remnants are of little use, buried deep within as mere witnesses to history. But for the world tree, they are excellent nourishment. Lin Moyu had not touched them before, but now that the world tree had awakened its intelligence, his destiny was halfway through, and his strength was nearing the Tao Lord level, he saw no reason to hold back. Especially since it was certain that sooner or later, he would clash with the world will, either it dies or he does, so there was no need for courtesy. While the world will had not fully recovered, it was only natural to use his authority to secure some benefits for himself. Besides, the world tree could use these as a hidden trump card for the future. Thousands of origin spirit vein remnants of all sizes and strengths rose from the earth. Though their remaining power was weak after countless ages, it was still better than nothing. With a wave of his hand, Lin Moyu collected all the remnants into his soul world and delivered them directly to the world tree. The world tree happily accepted them, burying them at its roots to absorb and refine. Lin Moyu knew these remnants might not be enough, but this was all that remained on the origin continent. In the future, he might have to seek more from other worlds. Next, Lin Moyu instantly appeared above Yudao City, and with a wave of his hand, drew in origin spiritual energy from heaven and earth, pouring it down like a waterfall into the city. In an instant, Yudao City became a top-tier blessed land, with origin spiritual energy unmatched anywhere else on the continent. This guy is so selfish. This city is his, so what he's doing is unfair. Hey, everyone has selfish motives. What he's doing is normal. If you were in his place, with destiny and such authority, wouldn't you do the same? Don't just talk about a bit of spiritual energy. If you took half the origin spirit veins, who would dare say anything? Different people had different opinions about Lin Moyu's actions. But Lin Moyu didn't care what others thought. What mattered to him was not their opinions. After transforming Yudao City into a supreme blessed land, Lin Moyu waved his hand, causing the sky and earth to change, blocking the view of all the Great Tao cultivators on the outer Great Tao. Little Jin, Emperor. With a low call, 2 figures appeared before Lin Moyu. Master, Realm Lord, both greeted him in unison. After years apart, Little Jin's intelligence had grown and he had become much more mature. As for the Emperor, there was nothing more to say. He was as steady as ever. Lin Moyu sent a message with his mind, "Emperor, I'll speak with you later. From now on, don't call me Realm Lord, call me City Lord." The Emperor heard the deeper meaning in Lin Moyu's words and nodded, "All right." With a wave of his hand, the cloud-piercing sword appeared at Lin Moyu's side, and the big-headed sword spirit flew out to land on the sword. The big-headed sword spirit and Little Jin looked at each other, both curious. Lin Moyu said to the 2 spirits, "I'm going to set up 2 formations, and I'll need you to operate them." Little Jin naturally had no objections and asked quietly, "Master, what about the formation outside Yudao City?" The big-headed sword spirit also asked, "And what about the cloud-piercing sword?" As the sword spirit of the cloud-piercing sword, he was reluctant to become a formation spirit. Lin Moyu replied, "A new formation will replace the old. Once the new one is complete, the old one will be obsolete. The cloud-piercing sword will be integrated into the new formation. With the formation's nurturing, it should break through its previous limits and become even stronger. Once the formation is complete, you 2 will be responsible for Yudao City's safety. Can you do it?" Little Jin and the big-headed sword spirit answered in unison, "At your command, Master." Lin Moyu was already being polite. Anyone else would have simply done it without consulting the spirits. With their agreement, Lin Moyu began setting up the formations. He naturally chose the 5 elements giant formation. With his current mastery of divine runes, the 5 elements giants he created could surpass ordinary Dao Lords in combat. This meant 2 powerful Dao Lords would be guarding Yu Dao City. As long as the world will didn't intervene, the city would be absolutely secure. A black curtain covered the sky, so no one knew what Lin Moyu was doing. Even those inside Yu Dao City could only see a massive black veil. But since it was Lin Moyu's doing, there was no panic in the city. The Emperor had already contacted Hao Dao Venerable and others to keep the city running smoothly. During the Great Upheaval, those who were close to Lin Moyu all benefited greatly. Especially Hao Dao Venerable and a few others, who stepped directly into the Dao Venerable ranks and, after a few hundred years, had reached Dao Venerable Third Realm. Such progress was already astonishing. Moreover, with Lin Moyu suppressing heaven and earth, no one dared cause trouble in Yu Dao City. After a full month, the 2 5 elements giant formations were completed. The 5 elements giant controlled by Little Jin wielded fists, while the one controlled by the big-headed sword spirit wielded a sword. The 2 giants slowly sank into the earth, remaining dormant until needed to protect Yu Dao City. Next, Lin Moyu entered the city and went to the courtyard where his girls were. Master, Little Mist had been waiting for a long time and rushed over, clinging to Lin Moyu. Father, teacher, Little Wu, Little Yu, and Little Mei all came over. After centuries apart, their faces were full of joy. All of them had made great progress in cultivation, having gained much from the Great Upheaval. Little Lu, who clung to him, was now already at Dao Venerable's 7th realm. Little Wu was the strongest of the 4, already at Dao Venerable 9th realm, not far from the Great Dao realm. Little Mei and Little Yu started later, so their cultivation was a bit behind, but both had reached the Dao Venerable realm. One was a natural Dao soul, the other a natural Jade soul. Given enough opportunity, they would have no bottlenecks in cultivation. With the help of the Great Upheaval and a little favoritism from Lin Moyu, both advanced straight to the Dao Venerable realm. Little Mei was now at Dao Venerable 2nd realm, Little Yu at Dao Venerable 3rd realm. Not only that, but their cultivation was still growing rapidly. At this rate, after a few more centuries, when the Great Upheaval ended, it wouldn't be impossible for them to reach the Great Dao realm. Lin Moyu tapped his finger, drawing in origin spiritual energy and turning the entire courtyard into a blessed land within a blessed land. There are still a few hundred years left. My requirement is that you all strive to reach the heavenly Dao realm within that time. Can you do it? They all responded eagerly, promising to do their best. Little Mei noticed something. Teacher, has something happened? Lin Moyu said, yes, but it's not time to tell you yet. Focus on your cultivation only, then will you be able to help me in the future. Little Mei understands. After chatting for a while, Lin Moyu found the Emperor. Emperor, leave a trace of your consciousness here and come with me to 1,000 worlds. The Emperor sensed the seriousness of the situation, left a trace of consciousness, and followed Lin Moyu back to the Great World. Chapter 3814, Helping Human Sovereign Find a Path. Human Sovereign had actually always been in the 1,000 worlds, but after he and Lin Moyu made their plan together, Human Sovereign stopped managing the 1,000 worlds directly. Still, he was always present, observing every change in the 1,000 worlds. This time, as Lin Moyu returned and once again evolved the Great Dao, using Great Dao Beast Essence to strengthen the 1,000 worlds, Human Sovereign sensed it as well. Lin Moyu said, on this trip through the Soul Void, I visited many places. One was called World Tree Great Spirit Domain, and inside was a top expert also called Human Sovereign. Human Sovereign gave an "oh," showing curiosity and apparent interest. Having the same name was common, but the title, Human Sovereign, carried a deeper meaning. Lin Moyu recounted everything he had seen and heard, including his understanding of the entire Soul Void. Compared to the 3 ancestors and others, Lin Moyu could trust Human Sovereign unconditionally. After so many years together, Human Sovereign's contributions to the entire Great World were unmatched. By telling Human Sovereign everything, Lin Moyu was also helping him perfect his database, allowing Human Sovereign to analyze more detailed data and verify his own plans. After hearing about the Origin Continent's world will and the destruction of 2 previous eras, even the usually emotionless Human Sovereign grew solemn. I never imagined this world would be like this, Human Sovereign sighed softly. He didn't doubt Lin Moyu's words, he could easily analyze whether they were true. The analysis was clear, it was all true. He also understood why Lin Moyu no longer wanted to be called Realm Lord. It had been fine before, but now, with the world will awakening, being called Realm Lord could draw unwanted attention. Given the world will's past behavior, it could lead to serious consequences. Lin Moyu asked, "Do you think my plan is feasible?" Human Sovereign replied, "I've already analyzed it. City Lord's plan is indeed feasible, but there are several key difficulties to overcome. First, we must stall the origin continent's world will and prevent it from fully recovering to buy ourselves time. Second, City Lord must find that gate and obtain enough heaven-covering stones and immortal jades. However, if we can stall the world will as in the last origin cataclysm and force it back into slumber, we might succeed even without enough heaven-covering stones and immortal jades, though the chances of success would be lower. Finally, once we recover our true spirits, whether to stay or leave is up to City Lord." This last decision was a bit shameful. Lin Moyu would naturally put himself first. Once he recovered his true spirit, he could choose whether to fight the world will or simply leave if he was ruthless enough. Lin Moyu shook his head. "I definitely won't leave. I have too many ties in this world to abandon it. Based on past experience, I probably won't get enough heaven-covering stones and immortal jades, so I'll have to prioritize some people." Human Sovereign said, "The world will won't pay much attention to some minor figures, but Dao Lords like the three ancestors are definitely under close watch, so prioritizing them is correct. Besides, true spirits may not be destroyed. If my analysis is correct, before the world will achieves eternity, it can't destroy true spirits." Lin Moyu raised an eyebrow. "Why is that?" Human Sovereign explained, "Because of Beast Abyss. Beast Abyss is where true spirits are controlled. In addition, there's the true fire Great Tao, both are above the world will. So I believe the origin continent's world will can at most use the true spirit imprints it holds to weaken current power, but it can't easily erase, let alone destroy, true spirits. If City Lord becomes strong enough, you might even be able to enter Beast Abyss in the future, find the true spirits of the dead, and revive them. But you'll need to prepare in advance and preserve their memories." Lin Moyu was deeply shaken. Human Sovereign's words opened a new path for him. Following Human Sovereign's logic, if he couldn't get enough heaven-covering stones and immortal jades, he could temporarily set aside people like Hao Dao, Venerable and Little Mist. The real priority was the three ancestors and other Dao Lords, since they were the ones the world will truly targeted. But he could still prepare in advance if, during the battle with the world will, people like Little Mist died, their true spirits wouldn't be truly destroyed. True spirits exist in Beast Abyss, which is above the origin continent, so at most, only a true spirit imprint would remain in the origin continent. The world will can't destroy true spirits, only suppress them through their imprints. This also explained why, when dealing with the Lord of Hell, the world will had to send subordinates. As long as memories are preserved, there's always a chance for revival in the future. In Human Sovereign's view, a living being is made up of life and memory. As long as memory remains, the being is still the same, the self is preserved, and memory is everything. This made perfect sense to Human Sovereign, but Lin Moyu found it hard to accept at first. Human Sovereign had once been a living being, but after so many years fused with technological treasures, his way of thinking had inevitably changed. Lin Moyu said, "That's a last resort." Human Sovereign replied, "City Lord can prepare in advance, there's no downside." That was true, and Lin Moyu could accept it. "I've found a world and want you to become its master, replacing the world will." Human Sovereign laughed. "That's fine. I died long ago, my true spirit is gone, and now I'm just a treasure with memory. If it works, I'll be reborn as a world will, and maybe even have a chance at eternity." Lin Moyu had once promised to help Human Sovereign become a living being again. To have a soul and memory, to continue cultivating and growing, that's true life, not just having memory as Human Sovereign defined it. But after searching for so long, he hadn't found a good method, nor a world suitable for technological development. After obtaining the yin-yang origin, he tried to use it to help Human Sovereign's body evolve, hoping to turn it into a true living being. But the results were disappointing, he never succeeded. This experience gave Lin Moyu another idea: let Human Sovereign take over a world and become its world will. Managing a world was no problem for Human Sovereign, and once he became a world will, he could continue to grow stronger, perhaps even reach eternity. This was the best method Lin Moyu could think of for now. Human sovereign had no objections. Thousand Worlds was already running smoothly and no longer needed his management. Yudao City was the same over the years, how Dao Venerable and others had taken over most responsibilities. Lin Moyu said, in that case, when I next enter the Soul Void, I'll take you with me. Human Sovereign said, it seems City Lord has already chosen a target. Lin Moyu nodded. I have, and I've already fought it once. That time was a draw, but now it shouldn't be my match. I'll tell you the details then. Just be ready, and if you have anything to say, let Hao Dao Venerable and the others know. But you also know there are things you can't say. Human Sovereign nodded. I understand. Chapter 3815, The Chaos Great Dao. Lin Moyu stayed in Yudao City for a few days, spending time with Little Mist and the others, chatting and relaxing. A few days later, after Human Sovereign finished handling all his affairs, Lin Moyu waved his hand to remove the concealing black curtain, and Yudao City was once again bathed in light. From the outside, it was impossible to tell what had happened in Yudao City. Even the protective formation that once shielded the city had vanished. To some of the powerful cultivators on the outer Great Dao, Yudao City now felt different. What did Lin Moyu do? Why does this city make me feel a sense of dread? Indeed, I feel the same. This city seems dangerous now. He must have done something, but it's his city. Using his authority to make changes is normal. Not everyone could sense the change in Yudao City, only those with particularly keen spiritual perception noticed anything unusual. Someone cloaked in flames sneered, it's useless. When his destiny ends, this city and he himself will die. He's made too many enemies. Right, Lin Moyu is said to be able to summon an undead army and command countless puppets. Who knows where he got them, but once the Dao Fortress armies are fully restored, he'll learn what a real army is. There was much discussion on the outer Great Dao, but everyone agreed on one thing. Before Lin Moyu's destiny ended, no one dared to touch him. Recent events had proven that anyone who tried would die. Lin Moyu left Yudao City, now protected by Little Jin and Big Head, two 5 elements giants strong enough to fend off even Dao Lords. He had nothing to worry about. Besides, as long as his destiny remained, no one would dare attack Yudao City. In the next instant, Lin Moyu appeared in the western continent, directly beside Lilian's crystal soul coffin. He now understood what lay beneath the coffin, a piece of Dao soil. Dao soil is special land refined from several top-tier origin spirit veins, fused with great Dao power and other materials. It has miraculous effects for nurturing all things. In the World Tree Great Spirit Domains trading market, Dao soil was sold, and its quality was even better than what was here. To Lin Moyu, Dao soil was no longer a rare commodity. Looking at the crystal soul coffin, he saw that Lilian seemed to be reviving, but for some reason, she had never fully succeeded. After careful observation, Lin Moyu realized what Lilian was missing. She wasn't truly a living being, she was a pseudo-lifeform created by a Dao Venerable in his own rules world. In other words, she had no true spirit. If she died, she would truly die, with no chance of reincarnation. Even if she could reform her human shape, without a true spirit, she could not truly revive. Now, Lin Moyu had two options. 1. Revive her in this state, but she would still be a pseudo-lifeform. 2. Find a way to let her generate a true spirit. But to generate a true spirit was nearly impossible in this world, not because of the origin continent's restrictions, but because of the laws of heaven and earth. She had no true spirit in the beast abyss. With a wave, Lin Moyu took the Dao soil and the crystal soul coffin and sent them into the 1,000 worlds. The 1,000 worlds was different from this world, and as its master, Lin Moyu could use the yin-yang origin to shine upon the crystal soul coffin, gradually allowing a true spirit to form. Then, Lilian could truly be reborn within the 1,000 worlds. After finishing this, Lin Moyu left the western continent and appeared beside Antares. Antares grinned, "You took her away, huh?" Lin Moyu replied, "She couldn't survive here." Antares nodded, "You did the right thing. Otherwise, she'd definitely be targeted in the future. There are too many people eyeing the outer Great Dao, especially since the western continent was once withering and flourishing Elder's territory. He wouldn't let the crystal soul coffin go. If you didn't take Lilian away, the moment your destiny ended, withering and flourishing Elder would attack." Lin Moyu flew back to the small mountain where Antares was resting. "Thanks for keeping watch." Antares snorted, "What's there to thank? I'm just napping." Lin Moyu said, "Then get as much sleep as you can. Soon, you won't have time to rest." Antares replied, that's why I'm sleeping now, gotta be well rested for the killing to come. As soon as Lin Moyu's consciousness entered his soul world, infinite fusion flew over, trailing a long glowing mist. Infinite fusion zipped up to him, the mist swirling and forming into a little child. The little child called out crisply, Master. Lin Moyu was surprised, you finished digesting already. It had already possessed considerable sentience, but after devouring the sentient treasure material, it had fully awakened its intelligence. Lin Moyu wasn't surprised by this, just by how quickly it had finished digesting. Normally, it took much longer. The little child giggled, aren't I amazing? Lin Moyu laughed, very amazing. He instinctively reached out to pat the little child, but his soul hand passed right through, scattering the mist. I can't touch you. Lin Moyu was stunned. He hadn't expected to be unable to touch it. A few seconds later, the mist reformed into the child. Master can't touch me right now. Lin Moyu asked, why is that? Infinite Fusion replied, because I'm in a chaos state now. Master's realm isn't high enough to touch things in the chaos state. Lin Moyu didn't quite understand, what's the relationship between the chaos state and the chaos great Tao? He'd heard of chaos laws in the great world, so naturally, above laws, there should be a chaos great Tao. Although he hadn't seen the chaos great Tao in the origin ancestral land, not seeing it didn't mean it didn't exist. The little child tilted its head, then a misty finger pointed at itself, I am the chaos great Tao. Lin Moyu was shocked, you're the chaos great Tao. The little child nodded, yes, I am the chaos great Tao. Lin Moyu still couldn't understand. He'd never heard of such a thing. How can you be the chaos great Tao? The little child said, but I just am. I'm a. Suddenly, it got stuck, tilting its head and thinking for a long time, but couldn't explain. After a while, the little child said, strange, I clearly know, but I just can't say it. Lin Moyu felt things were getting stranger. His spell star had developed intelligence and now claimed to be the chaos great Tao. It said it knew why, but couldn't say it. It felt as if some invisible rule was preventing it from speaking. Lin Moyu said, if you can't say, then don't. Tell me, what does chaos state mean? The little child was straightforward. If it couldn't say, it wouldn't. It explained, chaos state is the original state of all things, no rules, no form, existing in the past, present, and future. Master can see me because you're my master, but since you're not in the chaos state, you can't touch me. But I can still affect the real world and help Master with many things. Chapter 3816, Return to the Returning Origin Land. Lin Moyu understood now. Although the little child appeared to be right in front of him, it actually wasn't here at all. It might exist in another space-time, another moment, perhaps in the past, perhaps in the future. For it, in its chaotic state, anything was possible. The only reason he could see it now was because he was its master. And his soul world was its vessel. No matter what point it was at, or what state it was in, it would always be reflected in his soul world. So he could see it, talk to it, and have it do things for him, but he could not touch it. This concept was extremely abstract. Even Lin Moyu couldn't fully comprehend it. But that didn't matter. As long as he could use it, that was enough. Lin Moyu asked, can I cultivate the chaos great Tao? The little child shook its head. No, the great Tao has already taken form. No one can cultivate it, not even you. Lin Moyu asked, besides fusing techniques, what other abilities do you have? The little child replied, I have lots of powerful abilities, but most of them can't be used for now. For now, I can only help Master fuse things. Lin Moyu said, tell me about your abilities. The little child said, besides being able to fuse all things, I'm also a very powerful treasure, containing an independent world. If you throw me at someone, it's like smashing them with a world. I can also contain all things, avoid great Tao tribulations, travel through time and space. It listed a whole bunch of abilities, each one impressive, making Lin Moyu itch with anticipation. But after finishing, it poured cold water on him. Unfortunately, Master, you can't use any of these abilities yet. Then how can I use them? Lin Moyu pressed. The little child said, if Master tries to use these abilities, you'll suffer chaos backlash. You can only use them after achieving eternity. Only then will you be immune to the backlash. Lin Moyu couldn't help but feel disappointed. Achieving eternity was still a long way off. The little child tilted its head. Oh, but even though you can't use those abilities, there's one you can use. What is it? Lin Moyu asked. It said, aren't you evolving a world? I also have an independent world inside me, but it's in a chaotic state, nothing can enter or leave. But I can draw out some of the chaos energy from that world and merge it into the world you're evolving. That way, your world will have chaos energy, and with the yin-yang origin, you might be able to evolve a new chaos great Tao. Lin Moyu's eyes lit up. This was good news. His 1,000 worlds indeed lacked a chaos great Tao. If he could evolve one, it would make his world even more complete. Moreover, Lin Moyu had a vague sense that the chaos great Tao was not simple, its presence or absence was extremely important. Just then, the little child suddenly clapped its hands. Oh, I have another ability that might help. Lin Moyu felt this little thing wasn't very bright, always pausing mid-sentence. But it seemed to understand many profound truths of the great Tao. It claimed to be the embodiment of the great Tao itself, and since it took form, the chaos great Tao no longer existed, it was the chaos great Tao itself. Except for itself, no one could use the chaos heavenly Tao. Even if Lin Moyu didn't fully understand, he knew that for a great Tao to take form, it couldn't be simple. Not to mention, it required the accumulation of time and surely other factors as well. Over the long ages, it must have learned a great deal. The little child continued, Master, aren't you about to become a Tao Lord? You'll have to choose which Tao to become a Tao Lord of, and where to do it. Lin Moyu raised an eyebrow. Do you have any suggestions? It had always been in his soul world and was very clear about everything happening to him. Maybe it could really offer some useful advice. The little child said, I've slept too long, let me take a look at the current state of the great Taos. With that, it closed its eyes, but the infinite fusion spell star grew brighter and brighter, its dazzling light illuminating half the soul world. A vast amount of mist surged from the light, rolling and tumbling, forming a scene. Lin Moyu saw the scene and was shocked. Returning origin land. He couldn't help but be amazed. The little child had actually projected the returning origin land before his eyes. He had entered the returning origin land before, so he couldn't be mistaken, especially that immortality great Tao, so familiar. This was his second time seeing the returning origin land, and even though it was just a projection, it was clearer than when he had entered in person. In the scene, 21 great Taos flickered. Out of the countless great Taos, only 21 had entered the returning origin land, radiating out to all worlds. Lin Moyu saw the differences between these Taos. The most unique was the immortality great Tao. It had no root or source, floating there all alone. The other 20 Taos each had a band of light beneath them, connecting to the outside world. What they connected to was the origin ancestral land. Besides that, there were differences among the 20 Taos. Some Taos had surging, vibrant power within, while others were as still as dead water. He saw one Tao filled with thick destructive energy. He recognized it as the destruction great Tao, human sovereign's Tao in the world tree great spirit domain, surging and active. Not far away was another brilliant Tao, with a long river flowing within, displaying countless scenes. That's the time great Tao. Lin Moyu recognized it as the time great Tao, equally vibrant and powerful. Counting carefully, among the 20 Taos, 12 radiated vitality, while the other 8 seemed frozen. Lin Moyu didn't understand what this meant. After a moment, the mist dissipated, and infinite fusion's glow faded. Lin Moyu noticed its light was dimmer than before. It seemed to have expended a lot of effort. The little child's voice was tinged with fatigue. Master, I've checked. You're best suited to become the Tao Lord of the immortality great Tao. Lin Moyu asked, can you explain why? The little child said, you cultivate 6 great Taos, but the space, fate, and 1,000 stars Taos haven't entered the returning origin land. You can't become a Tao Lord of those. As for the power and time Taos, they already have Tao Lords. If you choose those, you'll have to compete for the position, which isn't ideal. So the immortality great Tao is your best choice. That's the first reason. The second reason is that the immortality great Tao is very special, Ida. Here, the little child got stuck again. It tilted its head, muttering, I know the reason, but why can't I say it? It was the same as before. Some mysterious rule prevented it from revealing certain information. Lin Moyu suspected some of its knowledge was sealed. Lin Moyu interrupted its thoughts, stopping it from getting lost in endless pondering. Why can't I become the Tao Lord of the Space Great Tao? Chapter 3817, It's because the Master isn't strong enough. The little child immediately answered Lin Moyu's question, because the returning origin land is already full. It can only hold 20 great Taos in total. Lin Moyu asked curiously, but aren't there 21? The little child quickly replied, that extra immortality great Tao is because. Once again, it got stuck and couldn't finish its sentence. By now, Lin Moyu was 80% certain that part of its memory was sealed, making some information inaccessible. This seemed to be the case with the world tree as well. Part of its memory was sealed and couldn't be accessed. But who could possibly have the power to seal the memories of these two little beings? It was precisely because of this sealed memory that this chaos great Tao incarnation seemed a bit slow-witted and prone to getting stuck in logical loops. Lin Moyu interrupted its train of thought. Let's not worry about the immortality great Tao. Let's talk about the space great Tao. Now the returning origin land can't accommodate any new great Tao, right? The little child nodded. Yes, 20 is the absolute limit. Lin Moyu asked, is there really no possibility at all? The little child shook its head. It's not entirely impossible. If one of the great Taos can take form and leave the returning origin land, a spot would open up. Lin Moyu said, so those true body Tao lords who try to send their great Tao into the returning origin land can never succeed. The little child replied matter-of-factly, yes, it's impossible. They just don't know it. Lin Moyu suddenly felt like he'd stumbled on the greatest pitfall in this world. Those true body Tao lords, after cultivating for billions of years, have their greatest dream of sending their great Tao into the returning origin land to become a great Tao lord and achieve eternity. Who would have thought that this path is already blocked? If they ever found out, how desperate would they be? Lin Moyu asked, earlier I saw that some of the 20 great Taos were dormant. Why is that? The little child said, because their great Tao lords died. Lin Moyu couldn't help but exclaim, a great Tao lord can die. Great Tao lords are supposed to be eternal beings, like human sovereign in the world tree great spirit domain. Such beings are said to be undying as long as their great Tao exists. How could they die? Even in the soul void, emperors are eternal. The world tree emperor was tricked by human sovereign into entering the beast abyss, but he's still alive and well. The little child said, you can't really say they're dead. More accurately, they're dormant. But as long as the returning origin land exists, after a long time, they'll revive. That was easier to accept than saying they were dead. 20 great Taos mean 20 great Tao lords. Now, 12 are still active, and 8 are dormant, waiting to be revived. Lin Moyu guessed at a possibility. Did they become dormant because they tried to take the final step? This time, the little child didn't get stuck. I'm not really sure about that. Alright, it seemed that part wasn't in its memory. Lin Moyu continued, you said you could help me if I choose the immortality great Tao. What about my other 5 great Taos? The little child giggled. I can help master fuse them. I'll merge those 5 great Taos into your 1,000 worlds, so your cultivated Taos won't go to waste. Lin Moyu asked, but wouldn't that mean I can't use those great Taos anymore? The little child shook its head. No, as long as the 1,000 worlds is strong enough, master can draw upon the power of all its great Taos. Lin Moyu thought for a moment, puzzled. The 1,000 worlds is different from this world. Would this world allow the power of another world to intervene? The little child patted its chest. Don't worry, master. When I fuse them, I can merge the great Taos of both worlds to ensure there's no conflict. Lin Moyu was amazed. Fusion was just a basic ability of this little guy, and even that was so powerful it was almost heaven-defying. No wonder it was called infinite fusion. It really could fuse anything. Lin Moyu asked, can you really fuse anything? It puffed out its chest proudly, of course. As long as master is strong enough, I can even fuse 2 independent worlds together. Lin Moyu's mouth twitched. That phrase, as long as master is strong enough, cut deep. In the end, it was because he wasn't strong enough. Lin Moyu knew this was the truth. Since you're so amazing, you must have a name, right? Although part of its memory was sealed, its intelligence wasn't newly awakened. It had simply woken from a long sleep, so it should have a name. The world tree was called Little Tree. What would this one be called? It said, master can call me Chaos-C. Chaos-C? That name was a bit odd. Was it because of the Chaos Great Tao? Lin Moyu asked, why that name? Chaos-C explained, because my true form is the Chaos Pearl, so I'm called Chaos-C. Isn't that normal? Lin Moyu suddenly understood. So your true form is the Chaos Pearl. Then what is infinite fusion? Chaos-C said, that's just the only ability I could use while I was asleep. Infinite fusion is already pretty amazing, isn't it? It shamelessly praised itself, but it was true. Infinite fusion really was impressive. Lin Moyu said, of the techniques I have left, can you see if there are any that can still be fused? Previously, when fusing techniques, the little guy always had good ideas and made decisions for him, so Lin Moyu trusted it unconditionally. Now that they could communicate, he naturally wanted to ask. Technique fusion isn't as simple as 1 plus 1. The fused technique is always stronger than before. So Lin Moyu hoped it could fuse them again. Chaosi said, of course I can fuse them, but now isn't the time. Technique fusion needs the right opportunity. It requires the great Tao to open, the descent of Tao power. Only then can the fusion be recognized by heaven and earth. If I force a fusion now, it won't benefit Master. Either the fusion will fail, or the power will drop a lot. If Master wants to fuse techniques again, it should be done when you advance to Tao Lord. And before that, I need to accumulate more power. I'm still not strong enough. Lin Moyu understood. How will you accumulate power? Can I help? Do you still need sentient materials? Chaosi waved its little hand. No, I'll absorb on my own. I don't need sentient materials anymore. Previously, it needed sentient materials to awaken from sleep. Now that it was awake, it no longer needed them. Lin Moyu was curious where it would absorb power from. It waved goodbye to Lin Moyu. Master, I'm off to absorb power. Don't advance to Tao Lord too soon, or you'll miss the chance to fuse. With that, it shot toward the roots of the world tree and disappeared. Lin Moyu was surprised. So it's there. Chapter 3818, Dumbfounded. The outside world is full of countless uncertainties, with many things beyond one's control, but the soul world is one's own pure land. Every cultivator's soul world is different and can be arranged as they wish. Everyone has absolute control over their own soul world. Lin Moyu was the same. His soul world was so complex that, as Antares put it, it was unlike anything he'd ever seen. Of course, Lin Moyu thought Antares hadn't actually seen many soul worlds. Yet, within his own pure land, there was always one mystery that Lin Moyu couldn't figure out. Where exactly did the roots of the world tree go? The world tree could continuously draw power from there. The origin spirit vein remnants Lin Moyu provided were just a bonus. Even without those remnants, as long as enough time passed, the world tree could slowly evolve and grow by drawing in power on its own. Of course, his own cultivation realm needed to keep up, or he'd risk being left behind by the world tree. Unexpectedly, now that Chaosi had awakened, it too went there to absorb power. Lin Moyu came to the base of the world tree. Its dense roots pierced through space, plunging into an unknown region. From the outside, nothing could be seen. Lin Moyu tried to sense the flow of power. Since power could be drawn from another, unknown space, that space must contain immense energy, perhaps something like origin spiritual energy, or something else, but definitely not weak. Yet, standing at the roots, he couldn't sense any flow of power at all. There wasn't the slightest leak of energy. Little tree, Lin Moyu called out in his soul world. Master, I'm here. The world tree immediately sent out an avatar, and little tree appeared before him. Lin Moyu asked, where do your roots draw power from? Little tree thought for a moment, then shook its head, I don't know. Lin Moyu pressed, then how did you extend your roots there? Little tree shook its head again, it's instinct. My instincts told me to extend my roots there. Oh, and just now, another guy went over. He said his name is Chaosi. Lin Moyu nodded. Yes, that's the former Infinite Fusion spell star. It's awakened its intelligence. How is it doing over there? Little tree said, it's right next to my roots. Lin Moyu said, is there a way for me to go over and take a look? Little tree thought for a bit, I'll try to open a crack, but I'm not sure if Master can get through. Little tree's roots began to squirm, and a rumbling echoed in the soul world as space began to twist. Clearly, opening a passage from the soul void to that unknown region wasn't easy. Little tree struggled for quite a while before finally tearing open a crack. As soon as the crack appeared, it began to rapidly close, but little tree kept struggling to hold it open. After several attempts, a tiny crack finally formed. Lin Moyu sensed an indescribable aura from the crack, primal, wild, and extremely powerful. Little tree said, Master, I can't hold this for long. Knowing little tree was doing its utmost, Lin Moyu immediately flew to the crack and sent a strand of soul into it. Facing the unknown, he naturally wouldn't risk himself. He only sent a wisp of soul, so even if something happened, his true body would be unharmed. Once inside, he found a long tunnel behind the crack. The world tree's roots ran through the tunnel, and his soul followed them forward. Inside, the space undulated rhythmically, almost as if it were breathing. This tunnel seems to be breathing. Suddenly, a gentle breeze swept through the tunnel, and Lin Moyu's soul wisp was silently annihilated. What kind of wind is this? Before his true body could react, a warning blared deep in his soul, but it was too late. His soul body was also instantly annihilated. Ah! Little Tree exclaimed in surprise as the crack snapped shut. A flash of purple light, and Lin Moyu's soul was reborn anew. Little Tree quickly asked, "Master, are you all right?" "I'm fine." Lin Moyu frowned at the roots. That wind had been too strange silent, it erased his soul wisp, then targeted his true body and wiped out his soul as well. He hadn't had time to react at all. He thought splitting off a wisp of soul would guarantee safety, but clearly, that wasn't the case. He replayed the experience over and over, but found nothing unusual. Even the beast abyss wasn't this impenetrable. And the annihilation wind in the beast abyss could be sensed, but this wind was even stranger and more terrifying. Curiosity and frustration burned in his heart. "Little Tree, can we try again?" Little Tree nodded. "Sure." Unless it was truly impossible, Little Tree would never refuse Lin Moyu's request. The roots vibrated again, opening another crack. The crack kept repairing itself as Little Tree struggled to widen it, finally stabilizing. Lin Moyu immediately sent another soul wisp through, entering the same tunnel as before. This time, he didn't rush forward, but stopped soon after entering to observe carefully. The tunnel wasn't still, it pulsed and breathed. Within it flowed a familiar power space-time energy. It was the fusion of space and time, something Lin Moyu had used many times before. He couldn't be mistaken. This meant the tunnel likely connected to a different space-time. Thus, the tunnel could be infinitely long or infinitely short. Even standing still, he might reach the end. Space-time was constantly shifting, carrying him through different times and spaces. What kind of place is this? How does Little Tree maintain itself across different space-times? Does the World Tree have the ability to span different space-times? One question after another arose. Suddenly, a breeze swept past, and Lin Moyu instantly severed the connection between his soul wisp and his true body. Yet, his soul body was still annihilated. Reborn in purple light, Lin Moyu sighed, dead again. Even cutting off the connection immediately hadn't helped. This wind was far more bizarre than he'd imagined. After his death, the crack vanished again. The wind not only annihilated his soul, but also repaired the space-time crack Little Tree had made without harming Little Tree at all. "Little Tree, do you know what that wind is?" Lin Moyu tried to find answers from the World Tree. Little Tree shook its head. "No idea." "Is that wind common in that space?" Little Tree nodded vigorously. "Lots of it, everywhere." Suddenly, Lin Moyu slapped his forehead. He realized he'd been foolish. Why try to see for himself when he could just ask? "Little Tree, tell me about that space." Chapter 3819, The Chaos State. Little Tree tilted its head, looking troubled. "I don't know how to describe it." Seeing Little Tree's difficulty, Lin Moyu said, "Just tell me what you sense." Little Tree said, "There's wind there, and fire too, but the wind doesn't extinguish the fire, and the fire doesn't drift around with the wind. I'm blown by the wind and roasted by the fire at the same time. The wind feels nice, and the fire feels nice too. Sometimes it rains. When it rains, I can absorb more power. So I always hope for rain, but it doesn't rain often." Lin Moyu asked, "Anything else?" Little Tree shook its head. "No, that's about it." Little Tree's description was very vague, making it hard to extract useful information. Lin Moyu asked, "Besides wind and rain, have you seen anything else? Any living beings? What about your sense of space and time?" "No living beings. It's empty, nothing but me." "Oh, now there's also chaos. As for space, I can't sense it. My perception there is very limited. If I leave the roots even a little, I can't feel anything anymore. As for time, it seems there's no real sense of time there, or rather, time is chaotic and constantly changing. Looking at it gives a sense of tearing." Lin Moyu's eyes lit up. "Describe the tearing feeling." Little Tree said, "Sometimes, I feel like my roots are cut off and disappear. But after a while, they reappear, as if nothing happened." Lin Moyu realized this was a result of temporal and spatial disorder. The chaos in time and space caused Little Tree to experience illusions. At certain moments, its roots would enter another space-time, making the main body feel as if they'd vanished. This showed that apart from wind, water, and fire, that place also contained the powers of space and time. This matched exactly what Lin Moyu had sensed in the tunnel earlier. Because of the power of space-time, that tunnel might be infinitely long or infinitely short, he might never reach the end. And if he couldn't block that wind, even if he managed to reach that world, it would be no different from courting death. But Lin Moyu didn't understand why that place didn't harm the world tree or Chaosi. Suddenly, he thought of a possibility and asked, "Little tree, when you're there, what state are you in? Is it the same as here?" Little tree thought for a moment, then shook its head. "It's different. Over there, my roots are in a special state, closer to chaos and disorder, but not to the point of collapse." Little tree struggled to describe its state, but after listening, Lin Moyu understood. Just as Chaosi had said before, it was in a chaos state. He hadn't been able to touch Chaosi before because he hadn't entered the chaos state himself. He hadn't understood what chaos state meant before, but now he finally had some idea. Chaos state is the extreme of disorder, but not to the point of collapse, a primordial state of existence, the very beginning of things. In that state, form, time, and space are all chaotic. It's easily torn apart into fragments, with nothing able to persist. Yet it's also the beginning of all things, the first step from disorder to order. A surge of insight rose from the depths of Lin Moyu's soul. One principle leads to 100, and he quickly gained a deep understanding of chaos. Everything in heaven and earth has a beginning, including this world. All beginnings start with chaos. At the dawn of chaos, heaven and earth were in disorder, with no space or time. Only when the great Tao evolved did chaos move toward order. When order reached a certain point, things began to develop, yin and yang emerged, and the great Tao was nurtured. Chaos is the beginning of order, and also the end of all things. Lin Moyu muttered, speaking insights only he could understand. Little tree watched with wide eyes, trying to grasp Lin Moyu's meaning, but clearly gaining nothing. Everyone's Tao is different. Lin Moyu's Tao belonged only to himself. At this point, Lin Moyu gently raised his hand, and the immortal fire ignited in his palm. Unlike the world-burning fire, the immortal fire was Lin Moyu's natal flame, completely under his control. The immortal fire danced in his palm, directed by his will, orderly and rhythmic. Lin Moyu could make it burn fast or slow, weak as a whisper, vast enough to cover the world. Now, under his will, the immortal fire began to grow chaotic, shifting from order toward disorder. With his intent, the fire grew more and more chaotic, unpredictable, as sometimes large, sometimes small, sometimes strong, sometimes weak, sometimes calm as water, sometimes wild as madness. He completely disrupted the structure of the immortal fire, fundamentally turning it chaotic. Finally, the chaos reached its peak. At the extreme of disorder, the immortal fire entered a chaos state, emitting an indescribable aura. Now, the immortal fire seemed to exist in different space-times, flickering in and out, in an extremely abnormal state. Within the flame, the sound of wind could be faintly heard. It no longer seemed like fire, but something that could become anything. The nearby space twisted, and disorder began to spread outward. So this is the chaos state. Lin Moyu's mind was clear. He had grasped the chaos state. This state lasted less than 2 seconds before the immortal fire grew even more chaotic, rapidly spreading outward. Lin Moyu's expression changed. With a wave, he tried to throw the disorderly immortal fire out of his soul world. This was his soul world. He could control anything within it. But he failed. The immortal fire in chaos state was completely beyond his control. He quickly grabbed Little Tree and teleported to a corner of his soul world. Boom! The immortal fire exploded, leaving a huge hole in his soul world and inflicting heavy damage. Lin Moyu grunted as his soul shattered on the spot. A flash of purple light, and Lin Moyu was reborn for the 3rd time. Little Tree anxiously asked, "Master, are you all right?" Lin Moyu forced a smile. "I'm fine, just got careless." He really hadn't expected to lose control of the immortal fire after turning it into chaos state. But in the end, it was because his strength was insufficient. He couldn't perfectly control the immortal fire in chaos state, leading to its loss of control. Still, he understood now that, at the moment of the explosion, the immortal fire was no longer itself, but had reverted to the most fundamental state of fire. That state is also the original state of all fire. From that state, different combinations can create different kinds of fire, each with its own function. His world-burning fire would be the Samaya. If it entered chaos state, it would also return to the original state of fire. Lin Moyu murmured, "The chaos great Tao returns everything to its origin. It's not destruction, but it's even more terrifying than destruction." Chapter 3820, Fertile Soil. This time, Lin Moyu gained a lot. He vaguely touched upon the essence of all things in heaven and earth. His consistent philosophy was to discern the true nature of all things. As long as he could comprehend the roots of everything, then nothing in the world would have any secrets from him. This realization was crucial, a major step forward on his cultivation path. Having reached his current level, Lin Moyu's path was already clear, to create his own independent world and ultimately transcend the limits of this heaven and earth. He once thought surpassing the Tao Lord would be the strongest, but now he knew there was eternity above Tao Lord, and beyond eternity there was still a final step. Moreover, this final step was extremely difficult. Almost no one could cross it. Everyone has their own final step. Lin Moyu didn't know what his would be, but he was certain that as long as he understood the root essence of all things, nothing could stop him, no matter what that step was. All things return to chaos. Chaos gives birth to all things. This was Lin Moyu's latest insight, and he deeply realized how important chaos was to himself. Lin Moyu exhaled a long breath, ending this session of enlightenment. He saw Little Tree busy repairing the soul world. Little Tree's roots, transformed into a chaotic state, entered that mysterious space, absorbing the power of chaos. When all matter is in a chaotic state, there is nothing that cannot be absorbed. Not only can it be absorbed, but it can also be transformed into whatever power is needed, regardless of form or attribute. If desired, the absorbed chaotic power could even be transformed into any kind of great Tao power, because chaos is the beginning of all things, the origin of all evolution, even more primordial than the yin-yang origin. Chaos is one, yin-yang is two. Chaos evolves into yin and yang further evolve into all things. The origin ancestral land is the initial form of this world, evolved from chaos. It is the beginning and the source of everything. With these insights, Lin Moyu watched the diligent Little Tree. Soon, the soul world was already 70 to 80% repaired. Little Tree flew to Lin Moyu. Master, did you gain enlightenment? Lin Moyu nodded. Yes, I understand now. I'm still not strong enough to control the chaos state, but once I can become one with chaos, I'll be able to enter that space myself. Then I'll see for myself what that place is truly like. Little Tree nodded. Master can definitely do it. He had blind faith in Lin Moyu. If Lin Moyu said it, it would happen. Lin Moyu said, this time, I've gained more than I imagined. It's time to go again. Little Tree said, Master, you're going to travel the soul void again. Lin Moyu said, yes, there are things I must do. I'll help you gather some origin spirit vein remnants. Little Tree said, if it's convenient, bring some. If not, it's okay, I can evolve on my own. Lin Moyu was curious, what do you need the origin spirit vein remnants for? Little Tree said, I merge the absorbed power with them to create fertile soil. With fertile soil, I can cultivate innate origin treasure materials. Fertile soil also speeds up my growth. Lin Moyu hadn't expected such a surprising answer to a casual question. He was afraid he'd misheard. You're saying, the fertile soil evolved from origin spirit vein remnants can cultivate innate origin treasure materials? Little Tree blinked its big eyes. Yes, but there weren't enough remnants before. This time, with so many brought by Master, I already have a patch of fertile soil. Little Tree pointed to the base of the roots, indicating where the fertile soil was. Lin Moyu saw a special patch of land, not large, hidden among the tangled roots, barely noticeable without careful inspection. Little Tree explained that the fertile soil was still new and needed further nurturing, and that it was still small and needed to be strengthened. This fertile soil was similar to the land used to nourish Lillian's soul, but even higher grade. Lin Moyu thought of placing Lillian's soul crystal coffin here, but Little Tree told him it wouldn't work. The fertile soil was too strong, and Lillian's soul couldn't withstand it. Lin Moyu was puzzled. Why not use the origin spirit vein itself? Why must it be the remnants? Little Tree said, the spirit vein itself contains sentience, which makes it hard to break down and affects the purity of the fertile soil. So the remnants are better. Lin Moyu understood. It's not that the origin spirit vein itself is unusable, but its sentience is a problem. Sentience is hard to erase from the full vein, so it's better to use remnants. Lin Moyu said, got it. I'll try to find more origin spirit vein remnants. He calculated that he had finished all the tasks for this trip. Now, the origin continent allowed great Tao cultivators of the 5th innate soul level to enter. Lin Moyu felt his destiny was already halfway through. In another 400 to 500 years, it would end. By then, not only would he face a great battle, but the world will might fully awaken and attempt to achieve eternity. Time was running out. He needed to follow his plan and delay the world will's progress toward eternity. 400 or 500 years seemed long, but it wasn't, and it wouldn't be easy to accomplish everything. He left 10 orbs of great Tao Beast essence in the 1,000 worlds, enough for nearly 1,000 years of absorption. Lin Moyu left the soul world again and entered the soul void, this time with another companion, Human Sovereign. Human Sovereign's true form was a technological treasure, but such treasures couldn't be brought into the soul void, so Lin Moyu stored it in his storage space. Then he opened a rift, allowing Human Sovereign to evolve within the soul void. Human Sovereign was once Shaozantian, the human war god of the great world, so he had entered the soul void before. However, his strength wasn't great, so he hadn't gone far and didn't know much about the soul void. He'd learned some things from Lin Moyu, but this was his first real experience. Lin Moyu took him to find Little Python and headed to the chosen location. This time, the destination was the Four-Armed Clan. Lin Moyu had previously fought their world will. Back then, the Five Elements giant was still slightly weaker than the world will. But now, with the Five Elements giant wielding the Dao sword and supported by the Prison Wild Grand formation, its strength had greatly increased. It was more than enough to deal with the Four-Armed Clan's world will, which had just entered the formative stage. Lin Moyu had his eye on the Four-Armed Clan's world. He wanted Human Sovereign to occupy it and become its world will, then use Great Tao Beast essence to rapidly push the world past the spirit birth stage. Lin Moyu would do everything he could. As for how far Human Sovereign could go, that would depend on his own luck. Little Python easily found the Four-Armed Clan's world. Lin Moyu pointed ahead. That's the Four-Armed Clan's world, the one I chose for you. Human Sovereign asked, is there a reason for choosing it? Lin Moyu said, the world will here has just entered the formative stage, so it's easier to handle. The world's origin core isn't strong, and with Discernment Beast's secret technique, your chances of success are high. This world has a foundation, so compared to weaker worlds, it will save you a lot of time.